I'm gonna
35.
I'm gonna switch screens. I'll be back.
This As the people of the world just try to live their daily lives, provide food for their families, shelter for their families, clothes on your back, it seems the United States government just spends money willy nilly all over the place, causing rapid inflation. That cause the prices going through the roof. Everybody feels it. Everybody sees it. Gas prices have soared almost to Katrina levels at this point in time. With the government spending so much money, there's one thing that I have an issue with, and that's the government spending billions of dollars on trying to, well, 1 billion on trying to promote vaccines. We all knew they were there. We all knew they were readily available. We all knew this. Yet they spent money time and time and time again paying these news media corporations, your mainstream media on TV, the publications that you read online, newspapers, they paid them all to lie to us, cover up the truth, and to mandate that every single one of us take a medical procedure that we may or may not agree with. So today we're going to be talking about this as a concern. With me today, of course, we have Abel Garcia. Abel, how are you doing?
I'm still dying over here from surgery. Hopefully I'll find out tomorrow how everything's going. I will be seeing again, so everything
Okay.
goes well. And today we have two new guests with us. So today we have one of our guests, Oblivion.
Hey, how are you? Sorry. Hey, how are you guys doing?
Doing good.
So this is your first time here with us. Would you like to give us a little information about yourself? If you don't mind, I guess the chat knows who you are.
Oh, so my name is Anthony, and I go by the name Oblivion. Was born and raised in New York my entire life. Yeah, I've been living here. Just interested in like the whole what's going on with the world, with politics, with people, how they think, how it is in their environment, just things like that, little things. Just looking forward to meeting. And thank you, by the way. Thank you, everyone, for inviting me to this platform.
Yeah, no problem. I know we talk a lot in Discord with the gaming group that we have. You know, we've had some very, very interesting conversations. And, you know, when I was thinking of this and everything, bringing this, there was a few people that I definitely wanted to try and get on to kind of express their views. And you were one of them. You were literally like within the top 3 of the people that I thought of. So I'm really interested, especially with you living in New York and everything. I'm really interested. I know we've talked before, but I'm really interested to see, you know, your take on all this. You know, how it's affected you with New York and everything as concerned with that. So I'm kind of excited about that.
As I am, Drunken. Very excited, without a doubt.
All right, our second guest we have today. Now this is gonna sound bad, but this is his name, not his name, whatever. But
you say that it is.
We have Guido with us as well. Guido, how you doing?
I am good, and so you know, it might as well be my birth. You want to hear a little bit of myself? I'll tell you the only thing you want. At birth, my godmother said, "Wow, he looks an awful lot like Father Guido Sarguzzi." Can you guess what's done?
What's that?
Can you guess? Guido. My whole fucking everybody I know calls me Guido. Guido is not racist. I'm gonna start off by saying that Guido is not racist. It's frowned upon nowadays because of the Jersey Shore, but Guinea Wat Dago is racist.
Yeah.
That is the racial term. All 3 of them even, or just one of them is racial term. Guido is not. Please quit confusing that shit.
Yeah, well, it's just the stigma behind it. I really don't care. I honestly do not think that hate
behind is the Jersey Shore.
Yeah, but I mean,
I'll be honest. I've
don't...
never seen New Jersey. I knew it into reality TV. you mind explaining why people assume
Oh,
that
no.
is racist for the people who don't know anything about?
It's so I've never actually watched the show. I've seen one episode. I saw how they acted, and those fake ass fucking wops pretended to be Italians, but really just completely ignored the Italian culture and called themselves Guidos. Whereas Guido in Italy, not only was a predominant name or nickname for children or just even grown adults, still what was valued. It was a person's name. Now you won't find any young kids today because of the Jersey Shore and how poorly they depicted Italians being named Guido.
He is completely
That's
correct.
why it's considered. That's why there's a stigma behind it. It's not necessarily racist. It's just disrespectful now because none of us want to be associated with the Jersey Shore.
Oh, well,
Or the scumbags that did the show.
okay.
Well, there is our intro to our people. I feel like this is going to be an interesting conversation with Guido. I love where this is headed already.
Well, you played Among Us with me. You already know that I'm snide, vindictive, and cunning, but I've also got my deductive reason very well intact.
Right. But let's go ahead and get into the story here. Now, this is something I really, really, really did take issue with as far as this goes. We all knew this jab. Let's go around all this shit. We all knew that this was there. We knew it was a thing. It was in the media everywhere up until its inception into the public. And then all of a sudden it was forced down our throats. We were told we have to take this or we could lose our jobs. We can't go out and see people. We're locked in our homes. We could be arrested if we go into a shop without showing papers in certain areas. Oblivion himself has come across this. And to me, this is a problem because this president, within his first year, has seemed to spend trillions upon trillions of dollars and just throwing everything at it, saying there's going to be no cost to us. Our taxes aren't going to rise. Well, that may be true. I haven't seen an increase in my taxes as of yet. However, I am now here where I live. I'm paying $4.93 at the pump today on average in my area. A 5-pound pack of hamburger now cost me $19, whereas before it was around $10. Food on the shelves being very, very, very low, if existent at all. Toilet paper, for some fucking odd reason, toilet paper is still gone. I'll never understand that. But it bothers me because we've spent so much money telling the media to say good things about this vaccine, promote it so everybody gets it. However, they never told you about the bad things about it. They never told you about the side effects. That is still in and of itself. They're saying we want 55 years to release it all. We're going to do it a page at a time, year by year. So damage is already done if we find out that something is really, really wrong, being 55 years later. There is a lot of things with this that just really, really bother me. And of course, I am going to blame the president because you are supposed to be our leader, you potato fuck. Anyway, I want to get into this because, Blaze Media, whatever you think about them, however you think about them, they put a Freedom of Information request in about the money spent by the Biden regime, and I will call it a regime. I don't give a damn. It's not an administration.
It maybe
but the
might have
Biden
been
regime-
an administration for the 1 second he got sworn. After that, it's become a regime.
I will argue that point with you at another time, and I swear to God, no. But
I'm giving them the benefit of doubt, but we all know that.
Yeah. But yeah, I want to get into this now. Like I was saying, however you think about Blaze, they put in a Freedom of Information request in to get the cash flow behind the jab, and as far as that is concerned, and it's come back to be really, really alarming. Now, I do know that a lot of Blaze personalities have already talked about this, and I didn't even see this myself until they brought it up. What was it? Yesterday. But I want to go ahead and read this thing to you. Now, normally I'm not going to read an entirely long article, but this is a kind of thing, and I want to read this, and we're going to talk about this here for a good second. It says the federal government paid hundreds of media companies to advertise the COVID-19 vaccines, while those same outlets provided positive coverage of the vaccine. It's already going to be bad. Lights in my face. In response to a FOIA request filed by the Blaze, HHS revealed that's Health and Human Services revealed that it purchased advertising for major news networks including ABC, CBS, and NBC, as well as cable TV news stations like Fox News, CNN, MSNBC, legacy media publications including the New York Post, Los Angeles Times, and the Washington Post. Digital media companies like BuzzFeed, News, and Newsmax, and hundreds of local papers and TV stations. These outlets were collectively responsible for publishing countless articles and video segments regarding the vaccine that were nearly uniformly positive about the vaccine in terms of both its efficacy and safety. Hundreds of news organizations were paid by the federal government to advertise for the vaccine as part of the comprehensive media campaign, according to the documents the Blaze obtained from the Department of Health and Human Services. The Biden administration purchased ads on, I'm just going to call it like I say it, the Biden regime purchased ads on TV, radio, in print, and on social media to build vaccine confidence, timing this effort with the increasing availability of the vaccines. The government also relied on earned media featuring influencers from communities hit hard by the COVID-19. And experts like White House Chief Medical Advisor Dr. Anthony Fauci and other academics to be interviewed and promote vaccination in the news. I can't read. Virtually all these newsrooms produce stories covering the COVID-19 vaccines. The taxpayer dollars flowing to their companies were not disclosed to audiences in news reports, since common practice dictates that that editorial teams operate independently of media advertising departments, and news teams felt no need to make the disclosure, as some publications reached out for comment explained. The Biden administration engaged in a massive campaign to educate the public and promote vaccination as the best way to prevent serious illness or death from COVID-19. Congress appropriated $1 billion in fiscal year of 2021 for the Secretary of Health to spend on activities to strengthen vaccine confidence in the United States. Federal law authorizes Health and Human Services to act through the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention and other agencies to award contracts to the public and private entities to carry out national evidence-based campaign to increase awareness and knowledge of the safety and effectiveness of vaccines for the prevention and control of diseases, combat misinformation about vaccines, and disseminate scientific and evidence-based vaccine-related information, with the goal of increasing rates of vaccination across all ages to reduce and eliminate vaccine-preventable diseases. Anyone who has spent time reading the news, watching TV news coverage, or browsing social media in the past year has more than likely been exposed to the government's advertising. Health and Human Services ads posted to YouTube have been viewed millions of times, and commercials featuring celebrities, singers like Elton John and actor Sir Michael Caine have been subject to the news coverage, such as a feature from MSNBC. There's a video there. Fear-based vaccine ads from Health and Human Services featuring survival stories from coronavirus patients who were hospitalized in intensive care units were covered by CNN and discussed on ABC's The View when they were unveiled last October. Though the federal government was paying each of these companies and others for pro-vaccine advertising, while news reports covered the same vaccines, many editorial boards say they have firewall policies that prevent advertisers from influencing news coverage. Advertisers pay for space to share their message, as was the case here. And those ads are clearly labeled as such, explained Shani George, Vice President of Communications for the Washington State. The newsroom is completely independent from the advertising department. A spokeswoman for Los Angeles Times gave a similar statement emphasizing that the newsroom operates independently from advertising. Words, fuck. The Blaze reached out for several of the other publications that either declined to comment or did not respond before publication. The COVID-19 public education campaign by Health and Human Services also used earned media outreach, word of mouth marketing, with the goal of having trusted messengers and influencers beat news organizations to provide factual, timely information and steps people can take to protect themselves, their families, and their community. As a result of that effort, various government officials have frequently been quoted by reporters covering the COVID-19 pandemic, offering factual information on vaccine efficacy and safety. An October article from BuzzFeed News featuring the essential facts about who is eligible for a COVID-19 booster shot. For example, reported pro-vaccine statements from CDC Director Rochelle Walensky, FDA official Peter Marks, and Health and Human Services Secretary Xavier Cara, and University of California, San Francisco epidemiologist George Rutherford. The article stressed how studies show boosters work and cited FDA data that suggests getting a booster shot can reestablish strong protection against the virus. BuzzFeed News advised everyone age 65 or older, people with health conditions that put them at high risk for illness from COVID-19, like healthcare workers who are at risk from coming into contact with COVID-19 positive people for work, and anyone in the area with high virus transmission to get the vaccine boosters in accordance with the guidance from CDC. Other publications, such as Los Angeles Times, featured advice from experts on how readers could convince vaccine-hesitant people in their lives to change their mind. The Washington Post covered the pro-vaccine messages people want to hear. The Newsmax has reported how vaccines have been demonstrated to be safe and effective and encourage citizens, especially those at risk, to get immunized. Health and Human Services did not immediately respond when asked if the agency used taxpayer dollars to pay for people to be interviewed or for a PR firm to place them in interviews with news outlets. Since the COVID-19 vaccines manufactured by Pfizer, BioNTech, Moderna, and Johnson & Johnson were given emergency approval for the U.S. and the United for use in the United States last year, more than 250. I'm breaking down right now. More than 215 million Americans have been fully vaccinated against COVID-19. An estimated 94.6 million people have also received at least one booster dose. About 65% of the U.S. population has now been fully vaccinated against COVID-19, including 75% of the U.S. adults and 88.8% of seniors. Health and Human Services have not revealed how much advertising money was spent on each media platform. All right. So I wanted to bring this to you guys and for everybody out there. Look, I get it. They did a damn good job at promoting, okay? If that many people across the world or across the country have been vaccinated, you did a damn good job. And I guarantee you we have already hit herd immunity. The problem I have, number one, we always knew it was there. It was down everybody's throats. Number two, it was down everybody's throats because you locked us down in our homes until we got this. You destroyed our economy. You took our jobs from us unless we got vaccinated. Number three, you hid all that information about adverse side effects, which are actually cropping up, especially in young people developing myocarditis. That lies, it's inflammation of the heart, and that follows them throughout life. They'll never get better from that. You have people that have actually died from this. How many times have we seen videos of people that have just taken the booster or brag about just getting the booster of these shots and have passed out on camera? Fuck, there was a comedian who fractured her skull. Now, I will say that I'm not a believer in God, but that was a moment where I do look up at the heaven and say, was that you? If you don't know about that, definitely look into that. She passed out on stage, hitting her head on the stage, fracturing her skull after talking about being vaccinated and boosted. And she said, clearly God loves me the most. And after that sentence,
I'm gonna say she definitely was loved enough by God. If God said, "Go fuck yourself, don't use my name in vain," and struck down.
Like, hey, well, I'm not a believer myself. I have a lot of questions about that, but that kind of thing. And
before we go any farther, it should probably be stated. At least me, I can't speak for you guys, but I'm sure you'll agree. I'm not anti-vax. I'm only anti this vax.
Right.
And the only reason I'm so against it is because I hear all of these people, especially these doctors on TikTok and YouTube and all this other bullshit, get the vaccine, get the vaccine, get the vaccine. And I'm like, or natural immunity, your body will forget how to fight it after 3 months. If any one of them can show me, any one of them can show me where in any science book, in any science text, anywhere on this fucking planet, your body forgets how to fight something it's already fought off once before because whatever doesn't kill you makes you stronger, I'll happily take your fucking vaccine. But it took me 3 years to catch that shit. 3. Actively trying to get it, treating it like the chicken pox. I caught it once. I had it for 3 fucking days, and my body hurt. I had a flu that was worse than that shit. And you're going to tell me, oh, COVID's so bad. Well, it's killed people. So is the flu. So is the common cold.
Well, Guido, I'm not sure if you remember, but apparently the flu and other illnesses took a vacation when COVID first arrived. Yeah. Not sure if you remember that.
Oh, did they? No. No.
You're in Alabama.
But what about, hold on. They definitely weren't fudging numbers, because one guy got shot in the chest and his death wasn't labeled COVID related.
Right.
Because he tested positive for the Rona.
That didn't happen.
It wasn't the bullet. It wasn't lead poison. It was COVID related.
Right. Don't forget that everyone who's died in car accidents had COVID, and COVID was the one that killed them.
All of the elderly people that didn't die of old age, they had COVID related deaths.
Look, there was that is a thing too, and there is a video. I think it's back from March of 2020 or April of 2020, where there was I forget. No, it was 2020. I forget who it was. I'll definitely have to look back into that. But the woman said, she was asked the question about how are these deaths counted, and the woman literally said, if you died with COVID or suspected of having COVID, even if you clearly die of other means, it's counted as a COVID death.
Was that Project Veritas or no? Because I know they've been doing a lot of work.
No, that was on live news. I'll have to look that video up and I'll send it to you. As a matter of fact, let's see if I can actually.
I bet you anything it was off CNN.
Yeah, no, because I know.
I'll bet you. Because they always have the dumbest shit on their news channel and then pretend it was never said until somebody shows them the clip.
Yeah, because I know Project Veritas, they've had a lot of people come to them and reveal a lot of information about the coup and all the people dying from that. But while we wait for Drunken to pull up that information, I will agree with Guido. I'm not anti-vaccine myself. I'm just personally, I'm very suspicious of medical providers now, especially since COVID-19 has hit us. they've been pushing it. No, they haven't been pushing. They've been cramming it down our throats and saying that if we don't do this, we're actively killing everyone's grandmothers. That's fine. You want to shame me into taking your vaccine? That's fine. I don't care. I'm just like.
I hate to shit in your territory, but presidents and politicians have killed far more than me after getting your vaccine.
True. No, but the other reason why I'm also skeptical of medication is I'm not sure if Chad, if you guys are aware of much on me. I know we did episode 1 last week, and then for Guido and Oblivion. So a little bit about me is I'm actually a detransitioner. So that means I transitioned from male to female and back to male. I've gone through the medical. I've gone through everything medical. So I've had medication, surgeries, and all that stuff. And that was when I was 19. I started at 18, but going to therapy, 19 is when I did medically started. And I wasn't properly informed on anything. I'm 25 now, so I don't. I'm still dealing with a lot of the stuff that I did when I was 18. So that's personally why I don't trust these medical providers.
Yeah, he had absolutely no pushback on anything.
Yeah.
Like everything he's going through, everything he's done, he's had absolutely no pushback. Nobody said, "Are you sure you want to do this?" Not even one.
Yeah. Like I said, I know last episode I had barely been recovering from surgery. I'm 2 weeks now from recovering, so I'm not sure if you guys can see. I'll move the camera a little. My chest, I am wearing something black. That is a binder, so it can keep my wound from expanding. Yeah.
But I'm sorry to cut you off, Abel, but I want to go back to what you guys talking about Miss what's the word?
Misinformation?
Misdiagnosing? No, misdiagnosing.
Misdiagnosing.
Yeah, because I have an example of that where it was at 2020. I got a real stomach issue going on, and I went to the emergency room. I remember vividly clear that it was during Father's Day too. I remember I was having like a panic attack and I couldn't breathe. At the time, I didn't know it was a stomach issue, but I told the people in the office, in the desk, I was explaining to them that I couldn't breathe. My heart was racing real fast. It was like pupillating, if that's the word. Palpitating. There you go. So I went to the Department of Heart for them to diagnose what I got, and they gave me all these IV drips, and like they wanted to check how my heart is. And I told them before that I ate something, and it was something that aggravated my stomach, which aggravated my breathing. And they told me that it could be because of my heart. They found nothing in my heart. The doctor came back, and mind you, this was the time when COVID was really hot. So when he came back, he told me I was diagnosed with probable COVID. And it kind of like struck me because I never had no symptoms of coughing, no fever, nothing of that sort. Just I just had like anxiety, like my heart was racing, I couldn't breathe. And so I kept going to hospitals, different clinics. And then 2 months later, I found a doctor, and he diagnosed me with an issue with gastritis in my stomach, which explained so many of my symptoms, which was giving me like acid reflux. It was giving me like increase in heart rate, like all that was affecting me. And it goes back to you guys, what you're saying, how like doctors sometimes like misdiagnose and even misdiagnose me as COVID, you know? So.
Right. Well, see, all right, from this whole thing.
I'm sorry.
No, you go ahead.
The more cases, the last 2 years, the more cases that they've diagnosed as COVID. the more people that tested positive in each state with COVID, the more deaths that could be attributed to the Rona, the more money that state got from the federal government. That's what all of that was. Like it wasn't just the news people that were being paid to promote this shit. It was the morgues, it was the doctors, the hospitals, the heads of the hospitals that were saying, do this. And they were getting paid by the government to get the word out there that this is a very serious illness. Like, yeah, it kills people. Just like I said earlier. But so does everything else. This whole planet is trying to kill you.
Even the oxygen you breathe is trying to. Yes.
The sun. The fucking sun can kill you. You could literally drop dead at your fucking pancreas. Literally, the most useless organ in the human body is literally just a ticking time bomb to kill you.
Yes.
And you're gonna sit here and cry about a novel virus. Note the air quotes. You can't really see them. But a novel virus that's literally just a variant of COVID that's been around for fucking generations. Because COVID's been out there. This strain, however, has literally just come out of a fucking lab in China. You know, the Kung Flu. Oh, I shouldn't have said that.
After gain-of-function research was done by Dr. Anthony Fauci, who funded it. Yes. And lied to Congress about not funding.
And the only reason that the whole thing that it got released in the first place is because China had unrest. They were trying to squash it, and they needed something to blame all of the murdered civilians on.
Right. Yes. Abel, I did find that for you guys. I did link that video that I was talking about in the general chat here.
Okay, perfect. I'll look that up right now.
Give me a second.
I
actually want to play this.
Oh, go for it.
I'm going to play this from my channel so everybody can hear this too. Let me unmute it.
I can't hear it.
Yeah, I can't hear anything.
Nah, I'm sorry. I was just playing that for the stream. If we did that, we'd have to. The camera's hot.
Was it
there we go.
Was it the video that you sent just now, Drunken?
Yeah, and that link. Basically, what she was saying. You know,
I'll have to watch it after we're done here. I'm not switching my Ethernet cable over from my console.
For those watching, I will say for those watching on YouTube, I will give me 1 second and let me see if I can try to play it on our end. So give me 1 minute. I'll just mute myself.
Okay. Yeah, she basically the entire thing was her saying, you know, at this time right now, you know, if you die, even if you die of a clear alternate cause, if you were, there's another video of somebody saying, or if you were suspected of having, but even if you tested positive at the time of death, that is a COVID death. And that's how they were counting it. That's how in 2020 we saw, what, 600 and something thousand people had died? Because like we were saying earlier, if you got into a car wreck, if you got shot, if you got anything else, the definition of even like this woman was saying, you're on hospice. You know, you're already given a couple of weeks to live. We're just trying to make sure your passing is as good as it can be. Even if you had COVID at the time of death, it's still a COVID death. You had a heart attack. It's still a COVID death. You cannot tell me the numbers were not inflated from the very beginning. So I actually do question, with a survival rate of being damn near 100%, I have to question the death count from the very fucking beginning, you know?
Right.
I have to question everything about this. Now, I will admit, Before any of this popped off, I cannot confirm 100%, but before anything this popped off, in October of 2019, I got sick. Everybody around me got sick, and I've told the Bolivian story a couple of times. Everybody around me got sick. It ran through, my workplace, my wife's workplace. I mean, it was horrible. It was. It felt like I was like going to fall out. And I don't mean like fall out and die flat out. No, it was just I couldn't breathe. I was so weak. I couldn't do nothing. I'm coughing constantly. I just felt a constant pressure in my skull, like the onset of a bad hangover, I felt all of that. We went to the doctor, and of course, because we knew nothing about any of this was October of 2019. We went to the doctor. We both had the same symptom. The doctor told my wife, he gave her a flu test and said, well, you're negative for the flu, so this is bronchitis. We're just going to give you this medicine. Didn't test for anything like that or didn't go through any motions to make sure it was bronchitis in any way. They just handed her a script out the door. That's kind of how our hospitals work anyway, hospitals, clinics, things like that. But then the information came. I'm sorry?
I'm sorry. I said if you think that's bad, try the VA.
Okay.
Veteran Affairs Hospital?
Oh, yeah. Veterans Affairs. Yes. My father-in-law is, he goes to the VA.
They literally use us as guinea pigs for fucking, for testing, for random drug testing. And that's another story for another time. But
I'm sorry. I'm going to cut you guys off just so I can say to the chat here watching here on YouTube, I do apologize. I'm unable to figure out how to show you guys the video that Drunken was talking about. I'll just post that link here if you guys are interested in watching.
Yeah, I'll teach you how to do that later on. Kind of like it's my buttons for that too. It comes down to a point of everything that we ever knew about this virus, especially seeing as how we've all come across the media lying constantly. And I question how long has that really been going on, because we never really had any way of getting real information to the people until social media came along, things like YouTube, things like that. I do have to question how long that's been going on because of all that, and again, for a later time. But what really bothers me is we all knew about this. This is everything that was shoved down our throats for the past 2 damn years. And you're still spending $1 billion paying people like Facebook, CNN, MSNBC, Fox fucking News, the Washington Post to say, hey, get the jab. It's fucking great. Never mind the myocarditis. You'll never hear about that. Never mind the people falling out from adverse reactions. Never mind everything else about this that is causing problems. You're not going to know about that. It's 100% safe. It's 100% effective. That bothers the fuck out of me.
No, it bothers me too. I think, but it's really bad when a meme says it best. And I think the meme went, oh, you died suddenly? That's COVID related. Oh, you got the vaccine, but you died suddenly? That's not related to the vaccine.
Right. And that, just spending money willy-nilly like this, especially like, we have a topic that Anthony brought up as well, that, we'll definitely roll into here because it does play a part into this. Gas prices, we all feel that shit. We got inflation rampant across the damn board. We got the omnibus spending bill that was $1.2 trillion. What was it? 15 fucking million or so was sent to another country, I think Pakistan, for gender studies or some shit.
I believe Thailand.
Something like that.
Vietnam,
I don't remember exactly where.
East Asia for sure.
I thought it was Pakistan. I can look that up real quick.
Fact check.
Yeah.
Fact check.
You know what?
I don't get. We even spent millions of dollars. We even spent millions of fucking dollars to learn if fucking lizards can run on treadmills. Like I said before, I was talking to Link about that. Yes, that is a thing. Look that shit up. That is a fucking thing.
What was that?
I think it was $5 million to learn if lizards can run on treadmills. And, you know, I was talking to Link about this when we had a little extra episode, which is me and her. I was just like, that's money laundering. I don't, they say they're doing this. I don't see the money cash flow. You know, I don't see the receipts for any of that. So I feel like, you know, our politicians go in there broke as fuck. And then all of a sudden, after a couple of years, they're some of the richest people in the country. You know, they're part of that.
Well, it does. If you're going to go into that topic real fast, I'm just going to cut you off for a second. You got to understand. Take Bernie Sanders, for instance. Somehow made millions of dollars selling a book that I've never fucking heard of.
Right.
And all of these politicians start off making hundreds of $1,000s. I think it's what, $300,000 is the minimum wage for those assholes?
No, I think it's like 160, 180,000 is like starting out kind of thing.
Oh, right. That's the president that's 300.
Yeah, president's like 400,000.
But they still get that exact same pay until the day they die. And then their widows or their children get that pay for so many years after.
Right.
Which is most of our wasteful spending. When this country first started out, being a politician in this country was a part-time job. Yeah. Most of the people, our founding fathers, all had full-time jobs and were heads of state part-time. Now they've made it a full-time job where they have pencil-pushing bureaucrats constantly pushing out new bullshit and regulations that we have to follow. And
not to cut you
off. It makes no sense to me.
Guido, not to cut you off, but I was going to say I just found how much they make. So it says most senators, representatives, delegates, and resident commissioners from Puerto Rico make a salary of $174,000 per year. So that's the salary of Congress members. Speaker of the House, who is as of right now Nancy Pelosi, makes a total of $223,000 per year.
Look, Nord's in the chat. I think it was more important that we know if lizards can run on treadmills.
Oh, definitely.
And then the Senate makes over $190,000 per year.
Like, still though, that is what 3, 4, 5 times. Well, I'm not even going to say 5. About 3 or 4 times what me and my wife bring in per month.
And I also found it was Pakistan who was the one who got the money.
I'm sorry, per year, not per month. But yeah, it was Pakistan. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so but apparently, this website that I found says that it was not. That it was removed from the bill, which I don't really. I'm pretty sure it was still put back in there. Another route.
You follow that shit through. I guarantee money changed hands somewhere, whether it was going to Pakistan or not. Also, why the fuck did we leave billions fucking pallets of goddamn cash in fucking Kabul? That was the Afghanistan place, right? Why was cash there? You got a military fucking presence when we pulled out of Afghanistan.
Oh, okay. So
I could tell you right now. And I can tell you right now, if they put the infantry in charge of guarding that money would not have been left there.
No,
that money would have been very evenly distributed amongst the Joes. It would have disappeared for various reasons other than our politicians wanted it to. All right, and that's speaking from first-person experience. I don't give a fuck. You send billions of dollars in cash to another fucking country that we're currently fighting a fucking conflict of interest with. Not even a war, conflict of interest with. I thought if I'm there and I find out about it, you can bet your sweet ass and at least one pallet is going missing.
Right.
I don't give a fuck.
I damn sure would too. I don't care to say it. I damn sure would too. Just because of that reason.
I think the biggest mistake was to leave just everything there.
Oh, definitely.
Well,
Definitely.
all of the shit, at least all of the shit that, other than the cash that we left there, even the cash that we left there is fucking worthless. But all of the shit that we left there was fucking busted. All of the helicopters that you saw the videos of them flying around in, they crashed.
Honestly, I'm more
Everything
pissed.
that got left.
I'm more pissed off that we gave
like-
him full auto weapons. I can't have those here.
Oh God.
Well, move to Georgia then.
Well, I'm
Move
going
to
to
Georgia.
I'm going to Texas.
Texas, Georgia, anywhere down, pretty much anywhere down south. You want to, like Georgia, you can put borders. Texas, constitutional
depends.
carry, any
That depends.
constitutional carry state.
Yeah, that depends because I mean Alabama is it's a permit state. It's not constitutional carry. You have to declare these weapons and things. That full auto here is not a thing. You definitely cannot have that. That is something that is actually enforced pretty damn hard.
Oh,
But I mean, you can still have your semi-auto. You can still have any other weapon.
well, what I'm saying is, because I'm in California, we can't even have any.
Oh, you can't have shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
That's what I'm
surprised you
saying.
guys can carry knives.
While we're on the topic of firearms, I would just like to state for anyone that's currently watching and opposed to firearms, seems to think that the Second Amendment was written for hunting. You don't need an assault rifle to hunt deer. Assault AR doesn't stand for assault rifle, stands for Armalite rifle after the
Yep.
person who fucking designed it. B,
Yes.
firearms, our Second Amendment is to defend the people who are supposed to be in charge of this country, not the politicians, we the people,
Yes.
from the politicians to keep them from getting too big for their britches.
And then correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't it your standard AR-15 either 223 Remington or 5.56 NATO, which are pretty small?
223 and 556.
Yes.
223 and 556 are the same thing.
Well, that's why. Well, I'm saying it just so I can, just in case for chats.
Yeah, 556 NATO is really more military grade rounds. Those
Yeah.
are designed to do damage.
Well, no, what I'm saying
the
is that
223
aren't those two rounds technically very small and weak to hunt anything besides small vermin?
Yes, you're gonna do more damage to the meat with the 223 than you will be likely to kill the animal. Because with the 556 NATO, what that's designed to do is hit a bone, ricochet off of it, and continue to bounce through the target until either the bullet stops moving, or until it leaves the target.
Right.
Yeah, the reason why I'm asking because aren't hunting rounds much bigger than.
Yes, the 30-06 is probably the most common type for hunting rifles because it's guaranteed to puncture the tough flesh of the animal. Humans are getting weaker by the day as well as done. It's all I'm honestly I'm a firm believer that we're de-evolving.
It's not that we're getting weaker. We're getting malnourished is the word.
That too. Oh, that makes us weaker.
Well,
I don't know about you guys, but I'm about to be 35 years old this year. And I'm sorry to take over the conversation, but I'm about to be 35 years old this year. And
I'll be 30.
my whole childhood, I remember the food pyramid.
Yeah.
Somehow sugar, bread, all of that stuff is on the food pyramid, but none of it's really essential. Lettuce. Somehow lettuce made it onto the food pyramid, but it has no nutritional value. Celery is literally just dirt plant.
Yeah.
It has no nutritional value. Carrots have nutritional value. They're good for your eyesight. Spinach, nutritional value. Help you have protein to build muscle. Same thing with broccoli. I can understand the food pyramid. Meat. Meat is good. I'm a meatitarian. Love me some cheese too. Not the best thing for you, but I love me some cheese.
Yeah, you got your
But sugar?
Yeah.
It took 20 years. 20 years for them to come out and say, okay, so it wasn't fat that caused people to get fat, it was sugar.
Right. Well, that was
It's not fat that's causing people to have diabetes, it's sugar.
That was also because of some shady, underhanded shit that was going on within our own government.
Well, to be
to
fair,
hide the fact that sugar was bad for you.
well, to be fair,
And-
Duncan, a
And it's
lot of
also the it's
sorry.
also the most addictive substance on this planet.
Yes. But go ahead, Abel.
I was just gonna say, I'm pretty sure a lot of everything that comes out from our government are shady deals.
Everything, yes. You do.
That's-
You have an excellent point there. Everything
Uh,
that happens.
another.
No, but if
I'm sorry. Again, I'm sorry to interrupt.
Okay. No, go for it.
Another thing that I seem to recall growing up, I don't know if it's still a thing because I stopped watching the news years ago, but do any of you still watch the news?
No.
Nope.
No.
Okay. Well, if you ever get a chance to turn on a news channel, see if they still do this little thing where they're talking about like their main focal point, usually the Rona these days, right? But on the bottom of the screen in that little blue bar, they have shit scrolling by. It seems a lot more important than hearing about. Maybe I'm mistaken. Maybe they don't do that anymore.
I'm sorry, you broke up on me. Say that last line again.
So, you know how like they'll talk about one major focal point on the news.
Right.
This time around, it's like it's the Rona.
Right.
But if you look at the blue bar at the bottom of the screen, all of the shit that's scrolling along the bottom of the screen, and you read that, 9 times out of 10, it's a lot more important than what they're spewing out of their cockholes.
Oh yes, yes. Like that's the unbiased part of the media as far as that goes. Because that just tells you what's going on without any other input or information or saying, Orange Man did this kind of situation. So, I mean,
My father used to get. I'm sorry to interrupt you. My father used to get really angry at me because I used to mute the TV because I couldn't listen to what they were talking about and read the bar at the bottom of the screen at the same time.
Right. That was always me. Like, long story short, my father used to listen to Fox News all the time. And growing up as a kid, like they say, if you're not a Democrat as a kid, you don't have a heart. If you're not a Republican adult, you don't have a soul, or a brain, or like that. One of those, whatever. But anyway, like I used to be like very, very left when I was a kid, simply because my father, all he did was watch either Star Trek or Fox News. There was nothing else ever. But I started just like, as I would pass by, I would definitely block out what I was hearing on the news. But I would just pass by and just read at the bottom what was happening and just move on. Like as soon as it started over, that's where I got my information from when I was a child. So yes, he does definitely have a point about that. As far as the scrolling thing is literally the only thing you should be watching as far as mainstream media. You turn on your TV, if that's there, read that, go about your business.
And if you were like
unbiased.
And if you're like me and you had a hard time focusing, like as a kid or even as an adult because ADHD is a motherfucker, mute the TV and read the bar. Then unmute the TV and listen to what they're talking about and try and figure out which one is more important, which one you think they should be covering more.
Right.
I guarantee you, it's not what's spewing out of their fucking garbage disposal.
If I may
off.
interrupt, I know you want to go back on topic, but just to add one last thing to what Guido was saying about the news media. Yeah, so I just looked up ABC Live, and I could not. They didn't have anything. I quickly scrolled back in time, and on what they were doing, since right now it's Ukraine and Russia, like always. But
Right.
the only thing I read from the little bar was, I guess, some movie theater shooter was acquitted today or recently.
The Batman movie theater shooter?
I
Because
have
that's a fucked up situation. If that motherfucker was ever released, I don't know what ever happened to that. Like, that got memory hole.
I don't, like I said, I don't know much information. It just said movie theater shooter acquitted, or they spoke out about it. It's probably something else, though.
Oh, that was probably what Rakita Law was covering past couple of days.
More than likely.
That was probably it. But yeah, that's see, that's more pertinent information than what's going on in Ukraine. Because hey, that's one fucked up ass story, and we're not even being told the truth about that shit. But that's a different story for another time. Like I said before, I want to get into that with Sork. Once I could set that up, like I haven't seen Sork since, Russia was saying, hey, let's ban you, or everybody was saying, let's ban Russia. I mean, they can't use Visa. They can't use fucking MasterCard. They can't use PayPal. Even Twitch took fucking action. Twitch was just like, hey, you ain't getting no goddamn money if you're a Russian fucking streamer. Doesn't matter what was being said. It doesn't matter if he covered anything political. Just playing video games, just talking, hanging out. These motherfuckers get no money now. Why are you going after the people in Russia for what their fucking government is doing? That's just like, think about it if they attacked us.
Well,
they shut down your fucking money supply.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't
China doesn't want to do deals.
Isn't Russia
you
against the New World Order? From one thing I think I heard that with Russia.
That is a bigger issue.
Well, no. I know. I'm just saying, like, Russia saying that they're against the New World Order, and then everyone's going against Russia. I'm very suspicious. Yeah,
it is.
Very suspicious.
Everybody falls in at one point in time. So yeah, that is horribly.
Oblivion, what are your thoughts on this? You're like really quiet. Can't even have his headphones on.
Now he's in New York. He's probably busy over there
Are
doing
you
something
muted
else.
too?
Sorry,
Muted too?
guys.
'Cause yeah, there you go.
I muted. Yeah, I had there was like noise all over.
Oh, you good? He was asking.
I was just asking you what your thoughts were on all this, but you weren't even listening.
Wait, what's up? I'm sorry.
We just had like an hour-long conversation about the goings on of the world. And you weren't listening to none of it. I'm an ass, right? I'm an ass. If I didn't see your headphones, if I'd have seen that your headphones were on, I definitely said, "What are your thoughts on this shit?" That's my bad, bro. I didn't mean to call you out.
No, you're good. You're good. I have an opinion, of course, about it. I mean, like Drunken said, like the issue isn't with the people; it's going to be with the government, and what they're doing with Russia is not right. It's the same thing with. Well, I don't want to. I'm going to go a little controversial, maybe too controversial, but with Germany, you know what happened with the whole Nazis?
Oh, yeah.
Like it isn't the people of Germany. I mean, it isn't the people of Germany. It's the government itself that's causing the issues. So why is it that people are suffering as much as what the government's going through? Like, I don't get it. It's just two different entities, two different groups.
I will agree. I will agree.
Well,
but what happened there is hold on. What happened there is what's happening here in the United States. Like, if you ask anybody, like my grandmother on my mother's side, she's full German. She grew up in Germany around World War II. She grew up in the Nazi era with that. I've had conversations with her about this when I was a little kid, before she passed away, where I would ask, why? Why did you guys not say anything? Why did you not do anything? And she literally said, because we didn't know. Like, we don't know this shit's happening in our own government. So from an American standpoint, all our lives we're told we're great, we're awesome, we're the best in the fucking world. Meanwhile, our government's doing shady, underhanded, back alley shit, and we don't know about it. Again, that was the same thing for the German people as that point. Should they have been attacked? No. But from a standpoint, exactly what we're seeing in our news right now with Russia, it's all about Russia, Russian people, It has nothing to do with Putin on any of these news stations. It's all about Russia, which in a mindset, anybody that speaks the Russian accent or anything, you're already socially conditioned to say, because of this reason, because the news is telling me Ukraine is awesome and we need to stand with them. And definitely go back and listen to the conversation that I had with Link about Ukraine. There's definitely a lot of messed up shit in there. But because you good. Because of everything that we heard with everything of that, it's the same shit. It's propaganda. And literally all news is propaganda. I get you. But they didn't know. Like we don't know. On a massive scale in this country, people don't know about shit because fuck it. You know, for years we've been asleep thinking everything's running great, and then all of a sudden we're fucked, and everybody's wondering why. This is why. Everything in these discussions is why.
Yep. It's like you said earlier. You grew up, you talked to your grandma. Me, I used to start, my grandmother worked at a convalescent home. She was an orderly convalescent. It was CNA. That was it, CNA, right?
Right.
I used to go to the nursing home. I'd talk with the older people that lived through this shit. And they'll tell you what the news, the politicians won't. They'll tell you the truth about it. Well, the people are suffering. It's a cyber war, just like how we handle real.
How we handle
We
what?
invade another country.
Oh.
So it's a cyber war, just like we handle a real war. It's the civilians that suffer. It's not the politicians.
Oh, of course. I mean, civilians suffer in anything. I mean, if you have a government, if you have a ruling body over you, you are the one that suffers at any point in time.
Right. It's not the politicians that are suffering. They're making sure they're living it up.
Right. But before we roll into the next thing, like, you know, I had mentioned earlier, Oblivion lives in New York. Dude, I really want to get into this. I know we've had conversations for a lot of times about what's going on in New York, especially with the lockdowns, the, you know, vax passports, things like that. All right, since the beginning, dude, how has this really affected you? In one of our biggest cities in the country. I can see the frustration in your face right now.
No, I'm just well, that and with what you were saying, just the whole thing, like going through quarantine. I'm pretty sure Abel would understand this because he went through this as well, since he's from South Cali. Just going through this whole quarantine, literally just doing nothing, just staying at home, do whatever you want, like just to keep your mind occupied. You cannot even go outside. Literally, it's like a fucking jail cell, at least in my experience. You can't even like go for a walk without having someone say that you're not allowed to go for a walk. You know, it's your probability of getting COVID will like skyrocket if you walk like a block, which is like maybe like a minute or two away from your house.
Right.
It's unbelievable, man. And well, in my neighborhood where I live, it's pretty moderate, conservative, but more on the moderate side. People over there were we just pretty much took it like nothing happened, really. There were people, of course, with their masks, but a lot of people there were without the mask compared to like Manhattan, which is like the center of New York City, you know, where everyone, like that area is like very liberal and you have all these like people wearing masks. But just those months there, it was bad. You saw a lot of trash too. Like in New York, it was like worse. It was like just pure chaos. Crime, like as you guys heard in the news, it did skyrocket. Yeah, it was a lot of shit. I mean, I could go on hours and hours, but I'm just giving you guys like the broad detail of things.
Right.
Kids have to be with have to wear masks all the time. And if you're positive, you can't be you have to be self-quarantined for like 2 weeks, more or less. Yeah, it was like a lot of shit going on. Yeah. Sorry guys, I gotta mute you guys for a second.
All right, that's cool.
Yeah.
While we wait for Oblivion, I will say, since I am in Southern California, it wasn't that bad for me. The only time it ever affected me personally was when my brother caught COVID, and my mother forced him to quarantine for 2 weeks. And then I caught COVID a few days later, and then I was quarantined for 2 weeks. Besides that, I don't really. But they tell me here in California, the only time I've ever done much, I only wear a mask, and that was rare. I did it in the beginning, but then eventually I just said, you know what, screw this, I'm done. Stop wearing the mask. My job hasn't said anything, and I had another job, and they were paying the butts about it, but that was it. But yeah, like I said, I was only affected by it through being forced to quarantine in my room. I felt like a prisoner. And
Yeah, that.
like I
That,
said,
that's why.
I will say I know how bad it is in regards to the media telling people COVID's gonna kill everyone, and I knew how bad it was, but I didn't really know how bad it was until it affected me personally with catching COVID and my mother doing things that would be very questionable on what she constituted was protecting everyone else from COVID.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's when
Yeah. Me.
go ahead.
Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah.
No, go ahead. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, it's fine. I just had to take a moment to breathe. But yeah, no, that's after I caught COVID and I saw how my mom behaved towards my brother and I. That's
Right.
when I learned how truly insane it was with how it's affected people. And then a while ago, I also did just go visit family up north in Northern California, and I got to see my aunt, no, my cousin and my niece, and I saw how it affected her. So
I will say something, and Abel, I understand where you're coming from because COVID did isolate my family a lot. Just the fear of not knowing what it will do to us. Like my family, we just got sick for like twice this whole time since this whole thing started. No COVID whatsoever. We just got a cold. But yeah, we were scared. We were like worried that we might actually catch COVID. Yeah, but it was just simple like 2 days of getting sick twice. Also my extended family, well, one of them got really sick and they were hospitalized too because of COVID. But like every situation, everyone's different, every case is different. As long as you know how to take care of yourself,
Yeah, and just like if you want to look it up, do it. Most of the deaths that were reported anyway from COVID, people who actually died from COVID, most of those deaths were people with 4 or more comorbidities, as far as that's concerned. I mean, fuck, my wife has high blood pressure, which is weird situation. I'll get into that here in a second. But my wife has high blood pressure. She's got breathing problems. And when we came down with it, wife, it hit her harder than it hit me, but it really wasn't like she was on dust, 4 or more comorbidities, that's anything that would be exacerbated by, something else, like having a respiratory disease with, chronic bronchitis or something like that. Yeah, I could see how that would be a problem. Having a respiratory disease with lung cancer, any kind of, I could see how that would be a problem. And I could see how that would exacerbate death. But again, like it goes back to the whole thing of questioning all of that. Could you really say that these people died of COVID or died with COVID? Like, these people would have died anyway. Most of the people that died were the ones that were already checking out. It was just a matter of time whether they knew it or not. I don't think that it should have been hyped up as much. And I don't think it should have been. It was definitely fear campaign to get everybody to fall in line with that shit. I don't care what you say. I don't care how anybody wants to play that out. That's what I will always believe, because that's everything we heard about. It was all, this is bad, this is bad, this is bad. There was never a moment in any news media that I even saw. Like, I stopped watching news in 2017, but when the shit first popped off, we were. And everything I heard was, this is bad, this is this. They never gave you a moment of fucking. They never told you about people that recovered. They never told you about, the ones that even were in ICU on ventilators that came out of it. It was always death. That was right. The fear.
It was. Yeah, it was like when the whole thing first started, like the first 6 months, all I was doing was trying to find the numbers. Like, I'm seeing, and finally they come out with the death toll and the number of people that had it. And I'm like, what the fuck? This has like a 99.999% fucking survival rate.
Well, you gotta
And that's
remember,
why they had to inflate the numbers.
fear
That's why they had
sells.
to inflate the numbers to make it look better. Yes. Project Veritas did have a video on that about a CNN executive actually saying that. That's the reason why they did it.
Oh
But
wait,
that's also
yeah,
why they
I
had to
forgot.
inflate the numbers.
No, but I'm saying that
And-
in general, like in general, anything for us humans, what are you gonna put more attention? Are you gonna rather listen to someone here with good news, someone caught COVID and survived, or are you gonna hear someone caught COVID and died? Which one's gonna be more catching your attention?
Which is
Everyone's
gonna sell
say-
more.
It's gonna be negative
Yeah.
news, not the positive.
Negative, yes. But here's the thing, though, dude. If you are trying to get people to fall in line with what you're thinking, if you're trying to get people to fall in line with what you're doing, all you would have to do is just be like, hey, look, this dude actually caught COVID and survived. Hey, he wore his mask all this fucking time, and then all of a sudden he went somewhere without a mask and he caught COVID. He recovered from it. Masks are great. Great fucking propaganda. But they never did that. They never fucking did that. Okay.
No, they were only trying to spread fear and disinformation between social media and the mainstream media, both of the medias. It was one side saying this, one side saying this, and everyone in between with their own opinions on it. And there's no real information being shared.
No,
There's no.
Banning one side
I
just
get-
because they say what they want is a fucking problem, because if you take out half the conversation, the only thing you hear is what you're going to believe. That's a censorship problem. We'll get into that. But it would have been more effective as a country as a whole, because, of course,
Don't give up
people of
politicians'
America-
ideas.
No,
Don't give up. I love you, man. Don't give up politicians' ideas.
you're right. But if
Somebody's going to see this video and they're like, okay, this is how we're going to do it next time. We're going to get these idiots to believe this because we're going to do it their way.
We're gonna get banned.
Well, you're right. I shouldn't do this, but I'm going to do it any damn way. It would have been more effective had they given hope and then spun it like, but it was because of, because all we hear is death. They're scared to fuck. If you tell us at one point, hey, all this death is happening, but check it out. This is what happened. They did everything right except for one time. You know what I'm saying? That would have been more fucking effective as a whole, because America was asleep. Nobody gave a shit at that point in time. Nobody.
As long as we're giving the government ideas on how to get people to follow their logic, and as flawed as it is, like trying to get us to take the vaccine, which is the topic of the day. If they really wanted us to take the vaccine, they would give us all of the information as it became available. Not just the this many people got the vaccine and this many people are fine. This many people took the vaccine and had adverse effects. These are the adverse effects from each of the different companies. At least let us make an educated decision for those of us that have a brain and like to use it.
But you gotta remember, here's the reason. Well, this is what I would assume. Here's the reason why they won't give it to us. They know knowledge is dangerous for them to give out. They can't give us, the peasants, any more knowledge than what they deem is necessary.
And that's 100% correct. Knowledge is power, and as long as we remain oblivious, we're powerless.
Right.
I don't understand. I don't understand how people can find bliss in ignorance.
Yes, definitely.
I think it's because I was
Go
gonna
ahead.
say. I was just gonna say, I think it's because most people, your average individual, is just busy with their day-to-day life, and their main concern is themselves and their family. So I can see why they're not that concerned, and they just listen to what they hear passing by.
Then they can't be that concerned about their family or themselves.
Oh, that's what I'm saying.
If you're not active, I'm sorry to say this, and I know it's going to hurt a lot of people's feelings. A, I don't give a fuck about your feelings. B, if you're not focused on what the government is doing, every government, not just ours, but every government is doing. But, mostly, I'll say mostly ours. If you're not focused on what's going on around you,
Yes.
as well as taking care of your family, then you're not taking care of your family. You're not doing what's right for your family or yourself if you're just walking around with your fucking blinders on. If all you're doing is this, I don't see it, it's not happening, I don't hear it,
Right.
that doesn't make things better. It's only making things worse for future generations, and you're not taking care of your family. You're fucking the future.
Yes.
Yes, and I know that's going to hurt a lot of people's feelings. Fuck your feelings.
No,
I don't
and,
care.
and I completely agree. But what I'm saying is, I think that's why I said your average individual, not the ones who are paying attention. Your average individual, they're not. I don't think most of them are concerned for what's beyond what's going on with their community or small city.
Because I mean, I wouldn't go so far as Oblivion's right. They don't care. I wouldn't go so far as to say even a community. It's more along the lines of your household. Like, people don't even think past that point. They go and vote and they do these things just because they can or because it's expected of them, but they don't know what they're doing. And I'm guilty of that myself. I didn't wake up till, after Trump was elected the first fucking time. I did not vote Trump Hillary in any way because I looked at it and I was just like, okay, on one hand, Hold up.
I'm sorry to interrupt. The only time I voted in my life was the last two elections. That's it.
Okay.
I would have voted for Kennedy because he wasn't a career politician. I voted for Trump because he wasn't a career politician. I had hope that he would be the next Kennedy, that he would continue to do well for this country. And he did.
Look,
but he's going to go down as the worst president in history because the media said Orange Man died.
I will agree with Drunken. I didn't wake up until after president or during Trump's administration, but it wasn't Trump who woke me up. It was my own self. It was like I've said. I transitioned and I messed up my body. That's when I realized, okay, I shouldn't be willingly going around life blindly.
Unfortunately, the only person that can wake you up is you.
Yes.
That's the word. That's the absolute worst thing about it. No matter how much you talk to people, if it goes against cognitive dissonance, I believe is the term. If it goes against what you believe, you're not going to want to hear it.
Right.
You label people conspiracy theorists. Note, I'm pointing to myself on that. And
it's either you're willing to learn. I think for most people, I think you're either willing to learn the truth, even if it goes against you, or you have to be shocked to wake up. And I feel for me, I was shocked. I can't speak for everyone else.
I definitely was. Like I told Abel our first episode, which I do apologize for the Twitch community because the first episode wasn't there. I forgot to hit the save feature within the Twitch account, so that one's gone. But like I was saying to Abel in our first episode, like at the very beginning, I woke up in about 2017. December 2017, Trump had a speech, and I had skipped work because I was working 12 hours, 7 days. I was burnt out, so I was just like, I'm gonna take it. So I called out of work, and I had, I was listening to a Trump speech just out of nowhere. I saw it on. I was like, fuck, let's see what everybody's talking. Why? And turned it on. I listened to the entire thing. The only thing I heard was narcissism. Everybody fucking loves me. Yay! And just basically assholishness, being like, well, these motherfuckers they're doing this, they're doing that. Couldn't chat on this. Okay, babes. But yeah, I saw that and I was just like, okay, maybe it was a one-off situation. Maybe there was something else. So I listened to it again. And of course, that's the same thing I always fucking heard. But I was like, okay, so maybe it was a one-off situation. Maybe he didn't say anything out of the fucking way. Maybe he didn't say anything bad. But I went to work the next day and I came home and I turned on the fucking news kind of like I always do to get a little bit of refresher because I was starting to really get into politics. Hell, I got to vote. You know, I want to know what's going on. I want to put my vote into somewhere. I don't want to hit D or R and be done with it and think I did something with my vote, like my vote mattered. No, it fucking didn't. If you do that, if you go down D or R on a list, your vote does not fucking matter because you're not paying attention. You're not listening. You don't even understand what they do once you put them in office. Let's just be honest. That's what people here in America do. We just go down the ballot. Well, because I'm told I'm Democrat, I'm going to vote Democrat. I'm told I'm Republican, I'm voting Republican. You don't look into these people. You don't follow them after they've been elected. You don't see what they do. So the blame actually partly for everything that has gone on in this country, for everything that has happened, the wars we've had and everything, the blame partly does lie on you because you're not paying attention. Anyway.
Not to interrupt you, Drunken, on that, but I do remember hearing a story a couple years ago. There was someone who was running as a Republican in some Republican state, and they were anti-cop, they were Satanists, and I think they might have been trans.
Yes. Yes, I remember that.
And when people were asked, did you know you just voted for an anti-cop Satanist, like I said, maybe not a transgender, and I think the position was for something related to the police. And people said, what? That, who's that? And it's like, you voted for them and they won. It's like, and they said, oh, well, I just voted R down the line. It's like, like I'm not even.
Dude, I'm guilty of it.
Look,
I'm guilty of
it. I'm a registered Republican, but that's because California. But but even then, yes, I've done that myself in the past. Just because half the times I'm usually too busy to pay attention to half of the idiots on there. But yeah, no, I know I need to learn. I need to study more on that. But yes, I'm just saying.
Yes, I'm the same way.
Not look into these people. Like,
I'm registered independent because you can't register as a constitutionalist. and
well, I think you can.
But before all y'all drug down my throat because I'm sworn to defend the Constitution and I love the Constitution. So you think black people are worth 3/5 of a person? No, motherfucker. I think slaves are worth 3/5 of the vote, which is how it's worded in the Constitution, because the Southerners didn't want to count the slaves as people, but they wanted to count them towards their power in the.
Yes.
But wasn't it a compromise?
Electoral college. And yes, it was the 3/5 compromise to say, okay, 3/5 of the slave population will be counted towards your power in the electoral college.
Right.
In the House and the Senate.
Guys, actually, I'm listening here to you, but give me a second. I got to go to the bathroom. I'll be right back.
All right.
Go ahead. You know, and that became null and void with the 18th, 19th, and 20th Amendments to the Constitution with the Emancipation Proclamation. It's no longer valid. Don't use it as an argument against me. You want to use something as an argument against me about the Constitution? How about the fact that these politicians, rather than getting fired for fucking around and going against what their constituents' wishes, by the way, we're the constituents. I know I'm using a lot of big words. Sorry. Try to keep up. Anyway.
It's fine. Use whatever you want. If I don't get it, hopefully Chad gets it.
Yep. So instead of going what their constituents wants, they're going what the money's paying them to do. And they still can vote themselves raises because that's in the Constitution. That's the only thing that I would change about the Constitution is the fact that they can vote themselves raises instead of getting fucking fired.
Honestly, they shouldn't even get paid.
We should be if we the people had to vote for their raises, they'd still be working for 3 cents an hour.
I wouldn't even give them a paycheck. I'd tell them, like, you're doing this for as community service. Go yourselves. If you want money, figure another route.
Put it as a tax write-off.
Well, yeah, that is. I'm back here. Yeah, but going off on
the Decepticon is back.
Yeah, I got my shirt on. But yeah, going back to your point about all that, you are actually right. You guys do know that during the founding of this country and Congress, everybody that had anything to do with government, these motherfuckers never got paid, right? It was just a right of service. The people said
they all had
speak for me, and they was just like, okay, I got you. They never got paid for it.
They had their own full-time jobs, and being a politician was a part-time thing. Minimal government is what our founding fathers really want. And now we have way too much government.
Correct.
Me too.
Curious, when did that happen? When did it start going like part-time?
It's been a steady progression since the Constitution was ratified. It's been a steady progression because I don't know if any of you know this, and here comes my tinfoil hat. 90% of the founding fathers, 90% of the signatures on the Constitution were either sent to an insane asylum or killed outright for doing what they did.
Yes,
they were either.
If you look into the deaths of them, yes,
they were either sent to an insane asylum or they were killed.
Getting into
100%.
You are wanting to drive yourself fucking like that is a thing. But going back to the whole thing, like you're talking about, of course they did not get paid, but you are right about the 3/5 point at that. And God, what was the other?
Well, I'm just curious.
I was talking about their ability to vote.
Mind if I interrupt? How many slaves were there at the prior to that being enacted for the 3/5 compromise? There had to be a ton of slaves compared to the slave owners.
Well, you gotta remember that the way it's written, it would have been proportional to the population at the time.
Yeah.
So
kind of like it is here.
So what the Southern Democrats really wanted, what the Dixiecrats really wanted, was to have all of their slaves counted towards their voting power, so they can have more power in the House and Senate and the Electoral College, so they continued voting for their way of life.
Right.
Which is why the 3/5 compromise was ratified into the Constitution, to keep both sides even. As more states came into the fray, they'd create one state, which is why we have 50 states now. Because every time one state got created going towards one side, they'd make another state going the opposite direction, so that everything stayed 50-50 among the states. Eventually, we ended up at 40. Eventually, we ended up at. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I could actually see that, and I kind of agree with that. Keep it as balanced and as even as possible. Like, one side should never hold everything that we're seeing right now.
Right.
They don't hold everything. I get you, but I understand that. The problem is, and this is going back to the Electoral College. The problem with that is, places like, why does California hold 55 fucking votes? Well, my state has 3 because of the population size. I get you.
Right.
So
the president of the United States. I can answer your question. I can answer your question right now, and I know your whole question prior to you asking it. I can answer it right now. Are you ready?
Okay.
The Electoral College. The president. I'm saying this for everyone, because I'm tired of hearing the Electoral College needs to go. I'm tired of hearing that bullshit too. So I'm going to answer this whole question. The Electoral College is there because the president of the United States is the president of the entire United States, not just California and fucking New York City.
Yes.
All right. Hear me out. Hear me out. If it wasn't for the Electoral College, the only places that they would have to go to get votes is California, all of California, all of the major cities in California, and fucking New York City. That's it. They would win the election in a landslide every fucking time, because that's where a majority of our population lives, is in the major cities, in New York City and California. We
Maybe
would not have a president
Philadelphia.
of the United States. Now,
Philadelphia
Harvard,
and Las
Waterbury,
Vegas is the
Connecticut,
backup.
Houston, Texas, none of those places, none of them have the population density of California and New York City.
Yes.
The president of the United States wouldn't be the president of the United States. He'd be the president of California and New York City. And if you look
You
at the
are
2016 election, if you look at the 2016 election map, the map that shows every county what color it was, even most of California was red. Even most of California was red.
Yes.
If it wasn't, for the Electoral College, we are not a democracy. That's another thing that you assholes need to wipe from your fucking thought process. We are not a motherfucking democracy. We are a motherfucking constitutional republic. A democracy is majority rule. We are not majority rule.
Mob rule. Mob rule.
We are the voice of all of the people. All of you that want socialism. All of you that think it's okay to say, okay, if two of us, say me and Oblivion, who's barely talked this whole time,
I'm just ingesting. Give it to me like it is. Give it to me like it is.
Because this is socialism. Me and Oblivion here are vote and decide that it's okay to steal everything that either one of these two gentlemen has. He votes against us. Sorry to say, fucking majority rules. We get all of your shit, and because that's the law of the land, you can't do a fucking thing about it.
Yep. That is mob rule.
It is.
Okay, it's democratic. That's democracy, yes, but that is socialism. Fucking mob rule.
And another thing that might be controversial, the only thing that stops taxation from being theft is fucking imagination.
Yes.
Not to interrupt
I get it.
you guys.
We have.
But
Go ahead.
So, in regards to what you were saying earlier with the 2016 election by the county, I'm looking at that right now, and you are correct. The entire United States is like blood red, except for,
have you?
Except for major cities across the whole country. Except for the major cities, everything is red.
I'm looking at California. I see my county, our county above us, even LA, and yeah, all the major ones. And I'm not saying I'm not a major county. I'm an okay county.
Do you want? If all of you, everyone watching this, everyone in the future that watches this, look up the 2016 election, just that one. You can look up any other one you want. It doesn't matter. You're going to see why we have the Electoral College, because the President of the United States is the president of all 50 states, not only the 48 continental, but Alaska and Hawaii as well. If it wasn't for the Electoral College, only California and New York would have a fucking say in who runs this country, and it would have burned to the ground a long fucking time.
And for the Twitch people out there, I'm showing the map right now. Tell me, without the Electoral College, Biden won. Tell me that. That is the point. I get you. And actually, I am actually all for the Electoral College.
Did that answer your question, Duncan?
What? Yeah, it did. But here's the thing, though, with me and everything like that. All right. I agree with the Electoral College because I do not want mob rule. Because if mob rules, the media dictates everything to us. Now, had we not started to pay attention because of the lockdowns and everything, where everybody was in your home, the only thing that was playing was anything political. Had we not known that, I'm sorry, Abel. I know this could be a little bit sensitive to you, maybe not so much now, but the trans thing, Black Lives Matter, all of that being pushed upon us, would we have fought back, or would we have thought that's the norm?
Oh, that would have been the norm. And then I'm looking at the wait, it is 20 no, this is 2016. Hold on. I'm trying to find the 2020, but it looks like it looks around the same. I'll be back in a minute.
Yep.
Yeah. It's that whole. I think the awakening of America itself, at least the American people, I can't speak for those across the world and things like that, but at least for the American people, I think we have started to wake up because you locked us in our homes. It's never been done in our lifetime, in our generation. Yes, it did happen before, but that was during the Spanish flu, I believe.
And at least the Spanish flu killed people.
Right.
Yeah, but I will say,
homes. Hold on. You locked us down. You locked us in our homes. We have absolutely nothing to fucking do all damn day long but watch the news. You have fucked yourself. But go ahead.
So I will say one good thing came from the quarantine. I told you guys this before we started, but I'm a truck driver. Right. I drive from Connecticut to the Bronx. 2 trips like every day when I'm working, right? When they need it. It's 4 hours round trip. When the fucking quarantine went into effect, I thought I caught the Rona, died, went to fucking trucker heaven. It took me 4 hours to do 2 trips in and out of New York City. That's fucking unheard of.
Yeah.
400 fucking miles through New England. And from Connecticut to New York and back twice is 400 miles for me. I did that in 4.5 hours. I did it because there was no traffic.
No traffic.
Right.
I had my foot to the floor, pedal to the metal, just cruising along. Even the cops weren't trying to fucking. I was just going.
They were passed out in the fucking driver's seat, man. Come on, nah. But he is right. Like here in Alabama, like I'll give it away. I don't give a shit. Like I travel Interstate 565 a lot, and you know it scares the hell out of me that Huntsville, Alabama, was rated one of the safest places to drive in the country, because every damn day during normal traffic, I would see 2, 3, 4 wrecks going to work and at least 1 or 2 coming back, you know? But there was nobody. I mean, it looked like the only people that were on the road were A, truckers like you, B, the people that worked on the arsenal that's close to me, or C, people like me that were telecommunications or grocery store workers or, you know, fast food workers, things like that. Those were the only people that were on the road. And if they were on the road during my time, they should have been at work or they're taking care of bills. So the interstate was fucking clear. You have a great point.
It was nice. All I'm saying, I loved it. The rest of the trucking community could not have been happier. We made more money in those 2-3 weeks that the highways were shut down, or that everyone was shut down, than we ever did before, because we could put miles under our fucking belt like there was no.
And
yeah, y'all made out like bandits.
It's funny because like
we're still making out. I'm sorry to interrupt you, Oblivion. You haven't spoken at all. I'm just going to finish the sentence and I'm going to let you talk. But
no, go ahead, take the show.
We're still making out. We're still making out like bandits, because now all of us have gotten a major pay increase, because now there's a shortage of truckers and they're trying to ship more stuff faster, and they can't because of the ELOG, so they have to pay us more to keep us motivated to keep going, so they can burn us out slower. But go ahead, Oblivion.
No, I was going to go back to saying how driving with nobody in the roads, literally, it's like a scene from The Walking Dead where you have the road to yourself and nobody was driving. Literally, I lived like a...
Yeah, but
what happened?
I was just going to interrupt you and say the only difference is there are cars littered around the place like there is every other day going to New York about the accidents.
Oh, true. But literally, I live like closer to Coney Island, which is like by the beach area, and it normally with traffic, it would take me like 45 minutes, 40 minutes from there to the city, and traffic is very dense. The closer to the city you are, literally it took me like 15, 20 minutes just to get from there to the city, from my house to the city. It was like, wow, it's unbelievable, man. And driving there was so smooth. Like from Brooklyn all the way to the Bronx, which is literally like almost upstate, would be like less than an hour, but driving would be like 2 hours. And in terms of like miles, it would be like what, like 10 miles from one end to the other.
Yep.
Yeah. Right. So it's a really
fun fact.
Area.
I don't know if you know this, but from New York City, I'll say from the center of New York City to Richmond, Virginia, is an 8-hour drive with traffic.
8 hours.
8 hours.
Damn.
And that's with traffic and taking the bypass to go around DC. I mean,
To go
not for me because to go around DC to get to Richmond, Virginia is 8 hours.
On the I-95?
Now, I have a friend who's still an over-the-road trucker, still travels up and down the 95, still goes out west. They thought the DOT stopped him, thought he lied on his fucking logs. We have to keep paper logs to show where we started, where we stopped, how long it took us. They thought he fucking fudged his logs because he made it from New York, from the Bronx to Richmond, Virginia in 6.5 hours. Without the traffic, it cut an hour and a half off his travel time because he was just able to do the speed limit the whole time.
I thought it would be 6 hours. No, for New York from New York. With traffic.
From New York to Richmond with traffic is an 8-hour drive. For a truck.
Yeah.
Okay. For a trucker, yeah.
Yeah, for cars, y'all can maintain the speed limit, but you usually don't. I don't know. I don't fucking know why for the life of me. That's another topic for another time. I'm not going to get on the shitty people drive.
Always use the left lane, folks. Left lane.
Like I stay in the fucking always use the left lane. I'm not even going to tell you where I stay because it moves faster. But always stay in the left lane, please. When you get on the highway, just shoot right over the left lane and fucking stay there.
Of course.
Hold on. I want to interject right here and actually fucking agree with you because as a passenger, somebody who actually uses the interstate a lot in my area, as a passenger in a car or a driver, whichever one you want to think of it, me being in a personal fucking vehicle, everybody should stay in the left lane. The right lane should be for trucks or merging on and off the interstate. Because if everybody's in the right lane and the left lane's fucking clear, how the fuck are you going to get on and off?
That's the thing, though. People are so slow.
If you want it from the perspective of someone who lives on the highway, all right, how it should work is you get on the highway, you use I'm going to tell you all a secret. Are you ready for this? I don't think you are. On-ramps, the purpose of on-ramps, the speed limit on every on-ramp in this fucking country is the speed limit of the fucking highway. Yep. The purpose of on-ramps. The purpose of the on-ramp. You're not ready for this. You're not ready. I know you're not. But it's the truth.
Oh, I am.
You got to trust me on this.
Let's go.
The purpose of the on-ramp is to get up to the speed of the highway, find a spot to safely merge, not force your way in, not ride it all at the fucking end, but to find a spot to safely merge at the speed of the highway. I'll say that slow so y'all can understand me. Merge and then get where you want to get. You want to hit that fucking hammer lane and floor it, feel free. I won't hold it against you.
Yes.
The laws of the road. Drive right, pass left. This is for you slow fucks that like to hang out in the sandwich lane. That's the middle lane. Don't get confused now. Or for you slow fucks that like to hang out in the sandwich lane, knowing full well it's against the law on most of these fucking highways for big trucks to get in the hammer lane and pass your ass. Yeah. And if you're out in that fucking hammer lane, it's for committing felonies. You lay that fucking hammer down.
Yeah.
The right lane is for getting the right lane is for getting on the highway and getting off the fucking highway. Otherwise, it's for me to fucking travel down because it's the only fucking lane that's moving half the time.
And you motherfuckers can't stop on the damn dime, so if I fuck you up, I'm dead. Plain and simple.
If you want to commit suicide by truck, do me a favor, pick another truck.
Honestly, I don't think
Guys,
most people understand that though. Guido.
Okay, so here I can explain this for you even better.
No. What I'm saying is that everyone thinks, oh, we'll just hit our brakes and then we'll stop within a few moments. But most people don't understand that for trucks. My father's a truck driver. I've mentioned that earlier, so I understand most of what you're saying. But but most people,
it's fine. I'll understand. I can explain what you don't. 18-wheelers, commercial vehicles, combination vehicles, can be up to 80,000 pounds. And for a box van, you see them all the time. They're 13 feet 6 inches high and 75 fucking feet long. At 80,000 pounds, we use air brakes. We don't use hydraulic brakes. We have drum brakes all around. We don't have discs.
What is
our shopping distance?
What is the max weight that you?
80,000 pounds is the max weight for an 18-wheeler. My max weight, because I drive a dump truck, is 72,500. That is 4 axles. That is 1 axle less than what an 18-wheeler can haul.
Right.
I am legal at 72,500 pounds. I'd rather not be that heavy. I've been heavier. Edit that out. Damn. Anyway.
Oh, no, that stays. We laugh.
My point is, we cannot stop on a foot. It takes us significantly longer to start moving, especially going up a hill, than it does you four-wheelers. And you get pissed off every time we have to hit our brakes on the highway and you're behind us. But you want to be the first ones to move over in front of us and hit your brakes.
Isn't that what happened?
Everybody else behind you.
Isn't that what happened in Colorado with that incident? Like months ago?
Yeah, all of them moved over in front of them.
You guys remember it, right?
And that motherfucker went to jail for that shit?
Yeah, he went to jail.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but
hold on, that incident was a little bit different. What happened with that incident was he told it was snowing, it was very bad weather, and he told the company he was not comfortable driving it. They gave him a very unreasonable deadline because the dispatchers, none of those people have ever driven a state that worked. All right, as far as I'm concerned, they told him he had to drive, he had to deliver the load. He should have said, "Go fuck yourself, you come deliver," and then waited for the storm to pass. That was my response. Driving in hurricane winds, fucking nope. I won't even go down into the city. You're from the Bronx. Those fucking winds. What are they doing to bridges? They shut them down to trucks at 45 miles an hour.
Well, I know by the waters, definitely it's windy for sure, especially during winter time.
You're going up over those bridges. When that wind comes in, 45, 50 mile an hour winds, it can push us right off a fucking bridge. We're that tall.
Oh no, I believe that. I see that. Yeah,
now
sure.
that's why they tell us fucking turn around. You ain't taking this route, not today. Not until the wind dies.
I was gonna say
that's why
for the Colorado gentleman, I thought I heard that his brakes went out on him as well.
I mean, that's what
they did because he was trying to stop in icy conditions and he stood on his fucking brakes. At 80,000 pounds, you're generating a lot of heat.
Right.
At 80,000 pounds, your brakes are generating a lot of heat. You encounter, when you use them excessively, like he had no choice to, you end up with something called heat fatigue or brake fatigue in your brakes. Yeah. And in that kind of condition, we also have something called an engine retard. I'm sure you've been driving down the highway and you've heard something like, got a truck just slowing down, right? That's the engine retard.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
it's loud as fuck. All right.
Yeah.
Well, some of them have mufflers. Mine doesn't. You'll fucking.
I hate it. I know you guys need it, but I fucking hate it.
You might hate it, but that's the only thing. That is the only thing stopping us from turning your car into your coffin.
Yes.
Because if all we had was our brakes, if all we had was our drum brakes, a lot of you would be dead thanks to Darwin. A lot of you would receive Darwin. I'm talking about the Bronx. I am definitely and Philly. I am talking about the Bronx and Philly and Long Island. Fucking Long Island. Jesus Christ. You ever driven to Long Island? Fuck that. No, you
Yeah,
haven't.
I've been to Long Island. I've been to Long Island. Yo,
Anyway.
yeah, don't go near. Especially during like rush hour.
On Friday.
Yeah.
Noon on Friday. Stop you can just park your car, go to sleep, take a nap, finish driving Saturday. It's wide open. But you ain't going fucking nowhere.
You ain't
Friday
going nowhere. You might as well go on Twitch and watch your favorite streamer. You know, do that.
Thank you for the shout out, man. I like it. Subtle as hell. But yeah, because I've been drinking,
very subtle.
I'm still listening. Y'all have this banter. This is fucking awesome. I've been drinking.
So,
I'm gonna take a piss again.
But to get, yeah, go ahead. So to finish up what I was saying, to make a really long story short, a truck is 80,000 pounds at max weight. My truck is 72,500 pounds at max weight. I can legally haul 22.5 tons of material. At 72,000 pounds, that's, I think, 40 something thousand, almost 40 ton. I don't know if you know how much that is, but it's a fucking lot. And all of y'all moving over in front of trucks and hitting your fucking brakes and thinking that we can stop on a fart, we can't. And I know what you mean. I know you know what I mean when I say stop on a fart. You've done it before. Somebody walked into a room before you. They farted as they walked through the doorway. You walked through that same doorway, smelled it, stopped dead. That's stopping on a fart. We can't. We fucking can't. You're playing Russian roulette with our brakes every time you move. Every time one of you moves over in front of us, and one of these times somebody's brakes is going to fail, and you're going to end up. Your car is going to become your coffin. The jaws of life won't be able to save.
Honestly, for me, when I'm driving and I have to get to the right line or anywhere where a truck is, I book it, and I was like, I'm trying to get away from y'all fuckers, and I mean that in the nicest way. I get the fuck away from y'all.
It's fine. That's the safest thing you can do. Is when you go to pass us, keep your fucking foot.
Yeah, no. What I mean is
don't slow down.
No, what I mean is if you guys are in the right line and I have to get there, I'm gonna speed my way, and once I'm able to go into that lane, as long as there ain't a truck in front of me, I'm gonna keep going until I have enough distance to give you guys that extra space.
So I'm even gonna tell you guys the safest way to move over in front of the truck. A, preferably don't, but B, there's two rules here. You use your rear view mirror. Now it's like right up here. It's long and thin. You look in that, and when you can see both headlights in that mirror, it's safe to move over, as long as you keep your foot. Also, another thing you can do is count the lines between yourself and the truck. Use your right mirror, your passenger side mirror. It's the small kind of curved thing on the right side of your car. I know some of you don't know what that is. It's fine. I'm teaching you. Trying to teach you without going out to my car and pointing these things out. Now, you look in that mirror and you count the lines between yourself and the truck that you're currently trying to merge over in front of. 3 lines is 6 car lengths. That is the safest distance. All they have to do is count 3 lines.
Hold on.
All they have to do is count to 3. Count to fucking 3.
I understand completely, but you're doing too much bad for the regular fucking person that only gives a fuck about themselves. Number one. Now, here's actually how
if they really gave a fuck about themselves, I'm saying this again, they'd pay attention to shit around them.
No.
One more fucking time. They only care about themselves.
That's not what we do.
Then you don't fucking care about yourself. You don't give a fuck about you. You don't give a fuck about anything if you ain't paying attention to the shit around you. Tell me I'm fucking wrong. Any one of you.
You're not.
There's 4
You're
people
not.
in here.
You're right.
There's people in shit on both fucking aisles. Somebody is somewhere. Tell me I'm fucking wrong.
No, you're
hold
right.
on. For the YouTube crew, for the Twitch crew, and everybody like that, look, Oblivion and Guido here, we are gamers. I love Guido because he gets off in the rants and things. I like to trigger the dude. I do, because he goes off on these rants, and it's good to me because he is speaking 100% fucking truth as far as that goes with that. But he gets so passionate, dude. Like Discord cuts you the fuck out. Like, I had to take streamer mode off my Discord just so it doesn't like do what it does with Nat and just like mute your voice when you get so fucking high. I had to take those off for you. I know that.
I can raise my voice to a decibel that the microphone can't pick up. I can get my voice.
Don't ever do that.
You won't hear it.
You
won't hear it. My microphone, no microphone can pick it up because I'm yelling so loud that they automatically mute because it's too much noise.
But yeah, I'm just picking on Guido. I'm not really. I'm just fucking around with the dude. Like,
anyway, what's your thoughts on this, Oblivion?
Hold on. The way we'll go to him in a sec. The way I judge to get it over, because, and I guarantee you'll like this more. The way I judge to get over for people like you, because I know you're carrying so much damn weight and you damn sure cannot stop on a dime, is when I look in my rearview mirror. If I'm trying to merge right, I'll look in that right rearview mirror. If I can see your back tires, I'm good. Without that, if I can't see those back tires, I feel like I'm too close because I know what you guys are capable of doing.
So like I said though, if you just use your rearview mirror and look, as long as you can see both of our headlights in our rearview mirror, you're at a safe enough distance to merge over.
I understand.
Because we need 7.
I give you more room.
We need,
because I know what you can do.
On a good clear day, we need 7-second gap to stop. In good weather, it goes up by 2 seconds for every amount of fuckery. We need 2 more seconds behind the vehicle in front of us. And I know you see some of these fucking asshole truckers tailgating motherfuckers, and they shouldn't be. Because they're the reason for like all this tailgating and shit is the reason for half the accidents. If people would keep a 3-second, if people would maintain one speed, keep a 3-second gap between all of the vehicles, I know, kind of hard because you can't keep your fucking eyes off the phone for 3 seconds. But if everyone kept a 3-second, shots fucking fired. If everyone kept a 3-second gap, maintained one speed, even if you had to set your cruise control to do it, there would be no traffic on the highways.
You know what? Honestly, just for people who don't know much on trucks, and then Guido, you can tell me on this. So I went to Arizona in December, and on my way back to California the next day, I was just driving on the I think it was the I-10 heading back home. I was driving, there was a truck to my right, and just so people know how much terrible you guys have a blind spot, this truck driver did not see me at all. I was behind. There was only 2 lanes. I was on the left lane. He was on the right, and I was half of my car was. If he went to the left lane, I would have been hit. So as soon as I realized he was going to the left lane, I booked it. I hit my gas pedal. And I said, "Now you can get away behind the truck." So I sped up. He didn't notice behind him.
One thing.
And it was like once I passed halfway through his truck, he realized I was there, but he hadn't even merged yet. He was putting his lights on. It was as soon as he started to slowly merge, he noticed there was a little vehicle behind in the left lane, so he went back to the right, and I caught that. So when I saw that, I was like, nope. I booked it again, and since it was open.
So what? Yeah. So one thing that you can do to make yourself a little bit more visible to us is, yes, we have 5 major blind spots. As long as a trucker's paying attention to knows what's in front of them, which 90% of the time we do, we can just focus on our mirrors, which I do. I'm 90% of the time, this is the look on my face. I'm driving with my brain off. I'm only using my peripheral vision, and I'm keeping an eye on my mirrors so I can see what's coming up on it. One thing that you can do to make yourself more visible to a truck is drive with your low beams on. Night or day, doesn't matter, your fucking low beams. Because even during the day, it's annoying as fuck to see high beams. Assholes. Anyway, we're way off topic. Because y'all got me talking about driving and road rage is kicking in.
Yeah, we are completely
and I'm sitting in my fucking lazy. I'm sitting in my I'm sitting in my motherfucking lazy chair, and I'm getting road rage in my fucking lazy chair. Stop it.
All right.
Yeah.
So let's go to Oblivion's story here then. Let's hard shift. There's no way in fuck we can. Yeah, we can. Actually, you've been driving. You did all this shit. Let's go to the gas prices, motherfucker. You got to pay at the pump. Let's do this.
Oh, A, I
Yeah.
go. And B, if we're going to go to gas prices, one thing you can say is, as a trucker, truckers are getting another bonus from the higher gas prices.
Really?
Because at every truck stop, they have rewards cards. And the company
I
is once
think I
you're-
might have seen those.
If you're a company driver, you have a rewards card, whether it's Loves, TA, Pilot, Flying J, whatever it is. They have a rewards card. You fuel up at their establishment, you get points for either every gallon or every dollar spent at the pump. So those points can be used to redeem for stuff in the store. And they're guaranteed a free shower after so many gallons. So that's a free hot shower right there. Plus
And
all
those
of the
would
free
be-
stuff that they are now currently getting, fueling up anywhere that has higher gas prices.
And
Right.
would that be all and I'm assuming that would be like gas stations that are mostly built for truck drivers, like Flying J, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it's truckers, it's people in campers, it's people going on road trips. You want to say you're driving from California to Connecticut. Look for a truck stop. Like you make it halfway here, you realize you smell a little funky. Stop at a truck stop. Pay $7 for a shower. You'll feel 100% better. You can drive a couple more hours.
Okay.
You can also go to sleep in a lot.
for
Nobody
a
will bother you.
shower. Hold on. Now I've paid that. I've actually done that. I've been homeless and as working on trying to get myself back into a house and things like that. Like I paid that price, but $7 for a damn shower. Like I feel like that's highway robbery. Guys, I'm sorry, I threw that off.
If we're gonna go, if you're gonna say that, all truck stops are highway robbery. I'll give you an example. Even down south, right? I was down
yes.
south. I was in Kentucky. I paid $50. No, I paid $40 for. I smoked Newport Hundreds. I paid $40 for a carton of cigarettes at the truck stop. I walked out of the front door of the truck stop and I noticed a gas station a little ways down the road. Pack of Newport Hundreds for $3.50. I walked back in, got my money back, and bought 2 fucking cartons.
Yeah, it is.
All truck stops are highway robbery. If you stop like on the 95 here in Connecticut, we have service plazas. Even Ron McDonald's, their dollar menu is $5.
Right, and I've seen that before, and I think that's more along the lines of, you guys, like truckers and everything, they're like to recruit people. They're like, hey, these motherfuckers get paid $2,000-3,000 a week. That's where your money's going up. Even if you do get paid that much, that's where your money is going to survive. You're still probably bringing home just as much as I do a month that you can use on your bills because of everything that you have to pay for.
Oh, when I was over the road, I didn't even have a fucking apartment. None of that shit. I lived on the road. I lived in the truck. It was the best experience of my fucking life because I had money. Fucking, I wish I could have hit a couple whorehouses, but those are illegal. Either way,
On the clock or off the clock?
when you're who gives a fuck? I'd have paid the prostitute full time to stay in the truck and give me a blowjob while I was driving. Either way.
Okay, so
Well, you know what? I have to agree with Drunken there.
Keep it PG. Keep it
PG,
PG, everyone.
PG. Oh God.
yeah.
And
We're
now
not trying to get kicked off within the
God.
second episode, dude.
now I have to figure out how to edit this for YouTube. Great now.
Check out this episode right there.
Oh God.
But no, you guys do have it, bro. But all right, let's switch back because
Okay, so
let's switch topics. I think that'd be for the better.
So since it's this topic, let's let Oblivion open the floor with fuel prices.
All right. We will definitely do that. And Oblivion, I definitely want to hear your take. I still have one more question about the lockdowns here. We'll go back to that after the story. But I do apologize for every single one of you out there. Like, usually we would bring... The whole point to this is I bring a topic, Abel brings a topic, each guest brings a topic. We'll bring a backup point if we have, if we have to do some kind of time as far as that's concerned. This episode is so fucked. Like, every single one of us this was supposed to happen yesterday with just Oblivion. And this was supposed to happen today with just Guido. Okay, but Oblivion and I both had some emergency issues. So it's just like, dude, come on. You're joining us tomorrow. We're gonna have one fucked up time. All right.
And I will agree with the drunken there. I will also admit that due to my surgery, I am very tired a lot. I tire out quickly, right. So I wasn't also here yesterday. My apologies for that.
No, I just also want to apologize for it was like last minute that we had to switch the day.
Oh, dude, you good?
Yeah,
you good?
Just realized stuff.
I'm just sorry for dominating the conversation.
But yeah, I mean, just because of our gaming sessions, and Abel's been part of that too sometimes, but just because of our gaming sessions, I knew this was going to be one weird ass fucking episode because we're all erratic as fuck. None of us can ever be on the same page with anything, which is why I love playing Among Us with you guys, because
I don't know, the conversation gone smoothly though.
Yeah, I mean it has, but like none of this was prepared from one topic to another. It doesn't need to. None of this was prepared except for the story that I brought up in the middle. Of course, Abel wasn't able to look anything because of his surgery.
I didn't even talk about the topic that I wanted to.
I mean, okay, can I have you on again so we can do that?
Oh, we still have time, I'm sure, but let's let Oblivion get some time in because he's been sitting there. We've been looking at his bookshelf the whole time that I really want to rearrange.
I'm just ingesting the what you have to offer, what everyone has to offer. I'm just ingesting it so I could think.
I definitely want Oblivion on again, definitely. Even if it's just a one-on-one kind of situation with just me and you, or we have a group, everything like that, dude. I love having conversations with you. But let's get into his point here. And with the rapid inflation and everything, of course, now here is really the narrative of gas prices. Okay. When the pandemic hit, we were like, I'm just going to speak from a personal perspective. When the pandemic hit, we were a little over $2.20 something cents. Okay. Everybody was locked down. We still roughly paid around that until a good 3, 4, 5 months into the pandemic. And then, of course, the oil prices plummeted because nobody was on the road. Okay. It got down to roughly around 170 in my area. Okay, 169, 170. Some places you would find 180, depending on the company. However, just a year and a half, I am now paying $4 at the fucking pump for a gallon of gas in my area that has always been historically relatively low. I'm paying $4 What used to take my car $25-$30 to fill up now takes 80.
It's only going to keep going up.
I'm just going to say this right now. I just looked up on an app that I have that tells me the cheapest gas right now. Cheapest is Costco at $4.96.
Yeah. See, what's the metric? What's the metric there for gas?
That's $4.96 per gallon.
Wow.
And then
I mean,
the highest that we're paying that this app shows is $6.09 per gallon.
So
Southern California. I'm 2 hours away from LA.
Fucked.
You guys know that it's only gonna keep going up. You understand that, right?
Oh yes,
I'm aware. I'm seeing this.
Part of the reason is the lack of our pipeline that, all hail fucking President Obama Jr. Decided to nix our pipeline, allow Russia to build their pipeline, and now they're trying to once they're gonna get that pipeline open. Once they do, they're gonna start selling oil and fuel at either, I think it was the Russian currency or the Chinese currency. I forget which one. I wasn't paying a whole lot of attention to it, just enough to know exactly how fucked we're going to be, because I know that our dollar is not based off of gold, but based off of oil.
Right.
And once one of the major superpowers decides to sell oil for their currency and not ours, we can't do shit about it. That's the whole reason that the media is spewing this war, is because we need to get involved to stop them from selling oil for anything but the American dollar. Because if they succeed, the American dollar will be worth a fraction of what it is now.
Oh, yes.
That's why Gaddafi, I don't know if anyone remembers Gaddafi, he's kind of old, this is last year. The reason we had him taken out of power, and I say we had him taken out of power because we spread, or our government spread a lot of disinformation amongst his people and had them incite a coup.
Yeah.
Had him killed because he was trying to sell oil for gold at the gold standard, not on the American dollar. Same thing happened with Saddam, which is why we reinvaded Iraq when we didn't need to in the first place.
Yes.
The only place we should have even had any right to invade would have been Afghanistan if anybody believes that jet fuel melts steel beams, but that's another story for another time.
Yes, it is. We definitely got to kind of switch it back. But yeah, the oil prices, we've all felt it at the fucking pump. It really is. Like, as this is concerned, this scares the fuck out of me, because just last week, my gas prices were $2.76. This time last week, it was $2.76 at the fucking pump. I fill up weekly. I fill up a day or two before I get paid. Just last week, this time, I was $2.76. Now I'm paying $4 at the goddamn pump. Now, you do have a point with the pipeline and everything like that. Like, the people don't understand. Like, we didn't build this fucking pipeline just to take fucking tar pits from Canada down to the fucking... But that was not the whole fucking point of the pipeline. Y'all motherfuckers don't understand how many valves you gotta turn to redirect shit, because it's just not that. You don't understand it. Like, this pipeline was just a subsection for what you're carrying. You take that away, now you got to turn all those pipes, now you got to redirect flows, now you got to do everything, setting everything back from what it was intended to fucking do in the first damn place, and they're only adding on to that point. So when you shut parts down, you redirect flow for everything else, which at 100% efficiency, you shut one thing down. How fucked up is your efficiency now? So don't tell me the Keystone Pipeline was not part of that, and that doesn't cause that fucking problem. Don't tell me that, because that is complete fucking horseshit. But yet we can have Russia have their Qatar Turkey pipeline so we can buy oil from them when we want to go to war with them? What fucking sense does that make?
And now another reason that our gas prices are going up is because we can't produce it as fast because our oil's not being pumped straight to the Gulf of Mexico from Canada.
Because
which is what the pipeline was supposed to do.
Problems. Right.
And that would have allowed us to refine the oil here in the States and not us have to rely on buying it from another country, like Russia, whom we've currently pissed off and now doesn't even want to sell us fuel or oil.
We've pissed
off
to refine.
So now we have to haul it down from wherever it's being pumped out, be it Alaska, Canada, anywhere. And of course, the truckers are still on strike in Canada, so they're not hauling. And American
You
truckers
don't hear about that shit. I mean,
American truckers are going to stand with. Sorry, go ahead. I'm getting off topic.
No. I was just gonna add to what Drunken is saying. Drunken, come on. The people, they'd rather hear about the Kardashians and whatever bullshit they're doing, especially with their father now that he's their mother, compared to Russia being destroying us.
I blame the Cleveland Browns for the Kardashians. If it wasn't for the Cleveland Browns,
hold on. I blame
I blame the Cleveland Browns for the Kardashians. If it wasn't for them losing that Super Bowl, they wouldn't have had another fucking draft pick. They wouldn't have gotten Orenthal. He wouldn't have fucking murdered that bitch. And the Kardashians' father never would have started a family tradition of getting black men off. All right?
What the fuck? Hold on. I know nothing about this. I blame the Americans.
You know what?
I'm going to have to look into that. What the fuck? No, we didn't have a talk.
That's a different topic. Let's save that for another day.
I blame the Americans because you motherfuckers literally all you do is look at your fucking TVs and you make stupid fucking people famous. TikTok is an example. Let's move the fuck on. All right. Going back to the oil shit. Oil prices.
Back to the oil shit. So now trucks have to. Now oil rigs have to haul it all the way down, which costs money, more money than if they slow it down a pipeline. And then on top of that, they have to haul it wherever it's going because again, there's no pipeline to send the fuel somewhere. Well, oil does come from the ground. Where it comes from and where it goes are usually hundreds of thousands of miles apart. Like take Connecticut to Los Angeles. I actually know the mileage for this. It is 3,500 miles from Connecticut to California. 3,500 miles coast to coast. All right. That being said, that 3,500 miles, we're only allowed to drive 11 hours a day, minus that first day because you're only getting about 4, maybe 500 miles in if you're lucky. The most a truck can get in a day is 770 miles. And that's if they're not governed at 65 miles an hour. And
for the cutout, that was 770 miles. But
what's
yeah,
that?
I was saying because you cut out on there, it's 770 miles.
Oh, okay, yeah. So, and because of that, it is almost 5 days travel time from the East Coast to the West Coast. That's 5 days longer than it would take if they could just send it down a pipe with a constant flow. Because there's only so many trucks and even fewer truckers that are qualified to drive. What's going to end up happening?
Just to add, what do you need to do to be qualified to drive?
You have to go to a school, and you have to go to a school, a certified driving school, and you have to pass classes. You have to take the tests at the school, and you have to take a permit test and a road test and an inspection test, I'll call it. It's a 3-part test in order to get your Class A CDL. And unfortunately, what's currently happening, because there's so few truck drivers, it's a revolving door system. That's why you see so many fucking tractor trailers fucking around on the highway doing shit that they never would have thought to do. And now, because of the electronic logs, they can't fudge the log books like they had to in order to get the job done the way it needed to be done. They can no longer kill themselves driving either, which is a plus. Because now they have to start and stop when that e-log tells them to start and stop, but it's putting a serious hamper on when stuff is getting delivered.
We just lost a bit.
Yep.
Yeah, cameras are going to be fucked.
Yeah. For those watching YouTube, I do apologize. We just lost Oblivion. And to fix that will take me to... You know what? I'll fix it. I do apologize for
for the
YouTube
You can just
chat.
keep going.
I'm
just
gonna
gonna
switch
keep rolling.
the screen. But we are still here.
He'll be no. You know what, Abel?
Yeah.
Leave it. I'm pretty sure he'll be back.
All
He
right.
probably has some family shit going on, and we've gone way too long But
yeah,
no, I mean,
yeah, we're almost at the 3-hour mark.
So,
on my
Yeah.
end.
so when I say the prices of gas and oil and all of that continue to go up, it's not just the prices of gas and oil that are going to continue to go up. It's like you said earlier, that ground beef that costed them $20, the cost of shipping has gone up because the fuel has gone up. They have to make it up somewhere. So now instead of that 5-pound thing of ground beef costing them $20, it's going to keep going up. So is fuel. So is everything else because of really stupid people. Post turtles. The term is post turtles. You ever heard that term? You know what a post turtle is?
No.
It's a turtle that was put on a post. You have no idea how it got there. You know it doesn't belong there. And for the life of you, you can't get rid of it. Post turtle. Same thing with a politician.
Hold up a second. Abel, we can go ahead and fix cams as we're going along here. I do apologize, Oblivion. Dude, I definitely want you back on, even if it's a one-on-one situation, because I definitely would have talked to you.
Hopefully it's a one-on-one, because I don't want to continue to take up. I want to get thoughts out the shit, and I keep taking over.
Right. But yeah, definitely. I appreciate you, Oblivion. We'll have you back on. I definitely want to talk to you more. But we can go ahead and fix camera, Abel, while we're talking.
All right.
Because it's a thing.
You know, but people don't understand these shitty policies, and constantly voting for higher taxes or just because the news said orange man bad are not thinking about the consequences. Hindsight is 20/20. And the problem is people don't think about what's happened in the past before they make a decision about the future.
Oh, God, no. We can't be doing any of that, man. What are you talking about? We all live for the moment kind of situation. Like, we don't.
I understand that completely. I'm probably the most spontaneous motherfucker you'll ever meet in your life, in case you can't tell how well my brain has stayed on track this whole time.
No, I mean, seriously, we don't think as a whole, as far as anything beyond us and our families and everything like that. And it is a fucking problem, because if you don't give a shit about the next person beside you, how the hell can you survive? Because you're relying on them, they're relying on you. That is a society.
Well, you know, while you're talking about survival, we might as well put the topic that I brought to the table. Survival tactics.
Let's lead us into that. Tell us what you got, man.
All right. So first thing I'm going to say is when shit hits the fan, not even if at this point, when shit hits the fan, I know you see all these survivalists saying, go to a hospital, go to a grocery store, get with every motherfucker on the goddamn plane who's going to those places. The first motherfuckers going to the hospital is the drug addicts. You'll never beat them for the pills. It ain't going to happen.
Right.
All right. So you're not getting the medication. What you want to do is you want to go to the library and pick up books. I know some of you have never done that before, but you're going to need to. You want to pick up books on sciences, cultivation, whatever you can get your hands on, because you're going to have to start learning how to tell which mold is the right mold to make your facility. You're also going to want to start going to farms. Mind you, most 100% of farmers are fucking armed with teeth. So when you go there, go with your hands up. Say, I'm not here to hurt you. I would like to work for my meals. Because without the farmers, we'd have starved to death years ago.
Oh, hell yeah.
So you want to go to a farm. You want to start working that farm. You want to start helping them till the land. They have machines for that now, but those ain't going to last long without fuel or any of the other basic necessities. Go to the farm, help them defend their farm, and help them grow what they need to grow so you can eat, so your family can eat. Because that's the only way you're going to get to eat when the shit hits the fan. Number two, if you don't want to go to a farm, you go out into the wilderness. Get the fuck away from the cities. They're going to become fucking wastelands. And they're going to be more fatal than the woods dealing with the wild animals. Learn how to build a shelter, preferably a lean-to. Something with just a nice, like, got plastic, it's not biodegradable, it'll never fucking wear. Get yourself something plastic, tie it low to a tree, Use it as a makeshift shelter so you can constantly move around until you find a safe spot to settle down and actually build something a little bit more sturdy. The taste test. In order to check and see if a plant that grows in the wild is edible, first you touch it. Use your fingers, rub some into your skin. There's no discoloration. Take another small piece, rub it on your lip. If you don't feel pain, there's no discoloration. Eat it. Yep.
No, go ahead. I'm just going to go to the bathroom because I've been drinking. But whatever. Yeah, go ahead. Keep going.
I've been drinking too. You got a really small bladder.
Dude, I'm drinking beer.
Oh,
All right. I'm not a trucker who has to goddamn spend 20 hours with a full fucking bladder all day. All right, no.
11, thank you. 11, stop. You have to stop within the first 8 hours for a half-hour break. That's more than enough time to piss. Anyway.
Not for me. But go ahead.
Yep. And then you eat it. Just one, because you want to make sure that it's not going to fuck you up. And then after all of this is over, the matter, if that one didn't fuck you up, a handful will. That's how you tell if the fauna is safe to consume. The safest way, anyway. Water, you can grab standing water, find something to filter it, and then boil the fuck out of it. Or find running water. Trickles down rocks. As long as it's moving water, it's safe to drink. The rocks filter it for you. I promise you 100%. Been out in the woods. I lost in the woods one time too. That's a fun story. Another time though. Now, that being said, running water is safe to drink. If you can't find running water, but you find standing water, make yourself a fire, however you have to, and then find something to put the water in and boil the fuck up.
No, he definitely is right about it. Sorry.
Now, it's all good. Do not trust what animals are eating compared to what is edible. Animals grew up in those areas, and what they are eating is safe for them. Does not translate to what is safe for you.
Right.
While it is a good judge of what could and could not be safe.
Plus, I would assume that their bodies are more adjusted to living off the land than consuming everything that just compared to our bodies.
What is poisonous to us could be their main source of life food.
Right. It's like there's a mouse in the deadliest place on earth, Australia. And it eats their most deadly insect. One of their most deadly insects, their centipedes.
Right.
That they've grown immune to the poison.
Yeah, I wonder how many times that happens.
By birth, at birth, they are immune to the toxin that centipede dishes out. They can take hundreds of thousands of bites and not be affected. You couldn't eat those centipedes. One bite, you'd be dead in seconds.
I'm just curious how many mice had to die for them to figure that shit out. Or to at least gain immunity.
Oh, I'm talking generations of that shit, dude. Like, no, that is actually a proof of evolution.
It honestly just could have been one got bit before it gave birth, and that litter ended up having immunity to the toxin. And then that litter gave birth to more, and those ones had the immunity from the predecessors, and the ones that didn't have immunity died. So now all of them just have immunity.
And that is called evolution.
Well,
there's no telling how they got it. It's just a hypothesis on my part. It wouldn't work for you. You get bit, your baby's toast.
Hold up. You can't tell me. Okay, evolution is the adaptation. Okay, well, we're getting into this, but evolution is the adaptation over time, right? For somebody to get used to something over time, we evolve even on a small ass scale because it only takes about 2 weeks, maybe a month, for a human to learn a new habit or break a habit. Okay? So we evolve even on a very fucking small scale because all it takes is that willpower to break that habit. So I mean,
Exactly.
I'm not going to go into that. I'm sorry I fucking brought it up because everybody.
It's all good.
That's
Like,
a conversation for something else.
No, it's
But
not.
yeah.
I mean, you can keep going. I've derailed healthy conversations. Now I have no qualms about it.
Every single one.
In my
But no.
defense, you started it. Anyway,
How?
started talking about the trucks. Started talking about other things. I don't even remember half the conversations we've had at this point. Either way,
I was trying to lead somewhere, and you're just like, "Hi."
Just gonna step in for a second. Half an hour later.
No, at this point, I think we're gonna go like 10 hours on this, just with
Oh no, no.
with Guido.
We're not.
I have tomorrow off because of the snow we're supposed to get out here. Anyway,
Oh,
I got
well,
nothing but time.
I think we're gonna have to
24-hour
bring you
stream,
guys
fine.
separately.
fine, we'll do a 24-hour stream. How's that? With
No.
Guido.
Yeah,
Goddamn
good luck
no.
with that.
No,
I don't have
we're not
enough
doing
beer
that.
for that.
I think my liver would shut
How do you
down.
know when you've
All
had?
right.
How do you know when you've had too much? I run out of beer.
No, but I do apologize. Like you guys don't understand. Like this is the gaming crew that we have. Okay, Oblivion and Guido here. Like we go off on these tangents while we're playing games together. Like it's nothing to us. So we do see hours pass on at the point in time. I apologize. This is so fucked.
I don't even know how long it's been focused for.
But this,
Because I started early, I'm almost at 3 hours.
I am at
No, that's it.
2 hours and 46 minutes. So you started about roughly 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Again, we had problems with setting everything up. Horrible thing. We started way much later than we should.
Some technical difficulties.
Yeah.
You know, but to get back,
These are the conversations of the people. Like, if we try to stay on subject with something, I don't want this shit scripted. I really don't. Like, we can go over some things, start some kind of conversation, roll off into some real topics, and just have fun with each other. Just talk. Like, this is what we're missing. It literally is. I do want to get into the subjects because Oblivion brings up some great points. Maybe I might have to do that with him, or with just me and Abel with him alone. Guido, I definitely want you back on, dude, because you have some damn good banter. But
well,
this is
it'll have to be something like this because I definitely shut Oblivion at the entire time.
Oh, you did. You did.
I think he got like 3 words in edgewise.
Yeah. Oh, my wife's home. Hold on.
I wanted him to be off on the gas thing because it was his topic, and then you let us off on it, and I got stuck in it.
There's a pond of water next to the water thing.
God damn it.
I don't know if it's just rainwater or if it's flooded.
Hold on, guys. I'm sorry.
And my tire may or may not be low. I try to put air
You're
in
not
it.
muted.
They're not muted.
Not for just.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
So can you get them?
I mean, can you guys hear that?
Yeah, I can hear her.
Yes.
Okay, I apologize.
It's all good.
Fucking, I'll unmute the mic. All right. So apparently we're having real issues here. My wife's freaking fuck out.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, we can end the stream here.
Yeah, we
right.
definitely do need to.
I'll have to get back into the survival topic.
But,
next time we do this.
But yeah, since
But
for both YouTube and Twitch, since Drunken does have to leave due to some issues in his real life, I do appreciate you guys being here for the whole
I
stream.
apologize, man.
Like I said, I don't know if it's just
I got you, baby. Oh, hold on.
Sorry.
It's okay. All right, everybody, we're gonna run. This is gonna be a hard out for me. I apologize. But it was great talking to you, dude.
take it easy,
I wanna
Drunken.
talk.
It's fun
Later,
being on.
Drunken.
Sorry I took over the whole fucking conversation.
I apologize. We didn't get through everything we wanted to today, but that's how it kind of goes with regular talk. And this is what I kind of want.
You didn't even get to go over your
This is
topic. I
wrong.
don't even know what your topic was.
No,
But
my
yeah.
topic was personal about the media thing, but
But yeah,
I gotta
No, your topic was. What was his topic?
Drunken, you have to go. The
Well,
wife
that's it.
needs you.
yes,
All right,
yes. I will
Yeah.
take care. Take care, everybody. I will see y'all again. Peace out.
Later.
Yep, I'll catch you guys later.
All right, so say what, huh?
I don't know what's going on with the water.
Again, I appreciate you guys for being here for the whole stream. And have a great day. Bye.